Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our second matchup of the evening. Again, it's me, Razors, joined by my good friend Rams. Rams, are you ready for match number 2 of the night?
I absolutely am.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see both these teams play in a big rematch that is anticipated because, they just played each other in U.S. Nationals. We're going to see Consulate first. We didn't see either of these teams play Consulate the last time they played each other, but both matches, or both games, excuse me, that they played against each other were very close affairs, 8-7, 8-7 on Border and Clubhouse in the favor of the Soniqs. There is a lot of, you know, there's a lot of beef between these two teams. So I'm thinking that Tempo Storm are going to be looking for a little bit of revenge in this invite qualifier.
Oh yeah, definitely looking to make some revenge here. And as we're just waiting for both of the teams to ready themselves up, and again, like you said, big grudge match here for Tempo Storm as they were knocked out of the USN, like you said, by the Super Sonics. I just said Super Sonics. The Susquehanna Sonics. Some people like to call them the Super Sonics. Definitely, I'm gonna try to stay away from that. As it's not their proper name, But either way, here looks like our first map of the evening is going to be none other than Consulate. And looking for some interesting bans here. I imagine that we'll see the Sonics ban out another Nomad here, as they did that in their last matchup against Senshi. But no, it's actually gonna be a Thatcher ban here first off. Interesting. You can just see exactly what the second ban is going to be. And it's going to be the infamous Capitao, as we're pretty accustomed to seeing nowadays. He's a very, very strong operator to leave on the board.
The Thatcher ban isn't typically what you see on a map like Consulate, but I think that there are some viable defensive strategies that can be utilized with the Thatcher ban. Obviously, this strengthens the garage. This forces the attackers to absolutely have to take control of upstairs and piano, subsequently. And this also plays into the defensive mindset of playing a lot of Mute and Mozzie and holding down the bathroom upstairs. This could prove to be really effective to slow down Tempo Storm's attacks. Capitao, Echo, Valkyrie, all normal bans for this map. Nomad being left up could be a factor in terms of, how free the Sonics are to jump out and everything. But at the end of the day, I think that this is a planned affair by the Sonics to get rid of Thatcher. And then actually, now that I'm looking at it, they're not even picking Mute or Mozzie at the moment, opting to go with a lobby defense first. I like that play. So we're just going to have to see what Tempo have in store in terms of the way that they adapt and push the site.
Yeah, definitely not a custom site to be going into lobby first and foremost here, but definitely a site that's going to be more than likely throwing off this attack. As wow, that was actually extremely loud. I have to turn this down just a little bit here, so my apologies for those of you that just lost hearing, because I definitely almost did. But either way, we're seeing Super on his typical operator with the SMG-11. We've seen him a little bit on Vigil, but most often it's been that smoke/mute combo, and he's actually been able to play it quite proficiently, if I do say so myself. So definitely good on him to be able to play those support roles, and along with Goddess, giving her a little bit of a break from those, as we're typically seeing her on the Maestro nowadays. Definitely her main operator.
Yeah, the idea behind this defensive setup... Oh, this is a rush, actually, from Tempo. They're already in the site, running all the way through the antechamber. Dream pushing in, taking down Goddess with the shotgun. Huge plays coming up. Dream with another onto Gomfy. This is huge. They just have to get the diffuser planted, but now as the drop-downs are coming, Filthy's there waiting for the drop as Neptune falls to his death. Filthy with another onto Slebin. Crazy rush coming out, and now it's Super in a 1v4. The diffuser is being planted inside a piano. This was huge plays and a huge tempo set for Tempo Storm as Super does get taken out. Well played by Tempo, just reading into it and pushing as fast as they could.
That was an insane round. I mean, you saw it. Those impacts just went flying in through the main door, and You just saw the operators follow suit. It was an all-out rush and a definitely strategic rush there from Tempo Storm. Normally, you'll see the Susquehanna Soniqs go for that kind of play, but this time around, it was the opponents going for that in Tempo Storm. Definitely a big play and the right play coming out from them.
Yeah, we saw what we saw at a Tempo Storm at USN. They had it would seem to be, in my opinion, some first land jitters. Their communication was not as good as we've seen from them in the past. Soniqs were able to capitalize on this, just be the more organized team. However, now that they are in their more comfortable setting at home online, I think we could see them at least pull out one map, if not take this matchup altogether. I would predict that Tempo, after that round, are feeling pretty good and would most likely be feeling like they can definitely take this map, going in with that level of confidence. Soniqs not phased by it, picking the same bomb site, thinking like, okay, we'll just wait for them to rush in again. Obviously, most likely, if they can set up faster, they'll be more prepared for it. Obviously, now someone's gun is going to be trained on that front door just to try to mow everybody down. If Tempo can run in and get away with that 2 times in a row, I don't know what the Soniqs are going to do, because that is pretty wild in and of itself.
There's no way, though, that Tempo Storm tried the exact same thing twice in a row, right? I mean, we gotta expect that they're gonna try to go for at least a different rush, you know? Like, maybe they're gonna rush it from a different side of the map this time, and it does seem like they're not gonna be going for a rush whatsoever, playing it a little bit more passively, unless we see them just rush right through these stairs. But no, just setting down a few air jabs and gonna play this a little bit more passively and a little bit more intelligently, if I might say. Not that the last thing wasn't intelligent, because it definitely was a smart play. It just wasn't like a normal play that you'll see on most attacks, you know.
Yeah, Neptune's looking through some bullet holes in the connector towards console window. This looks to be a yellow staircase-oriented push at the moment. Obviously, Tempo could change that at any given time. Right now, their primary objective is to remove Gomfi as the doc playing on this staircase. They have him pinned down at the moment. One player playing on bathroom, one above the skylight. One grenade comes soaring in, damages him slightly, but wasn't cooked quite long enough. Whoa, what a crazy flick onto... that was a nice flick onto crazy. I almost said a crazy flick onto nice. Anyway, as Gomfi is going to establish himself on yellow stairs, I think that some pressure is going to be alleviated and moved around. Obviously, Dream is going to relocate himself. No more grenades in his hand. Needed to cook those a little bit longer in order to get Gomfi off of that staircase. Is going to swing in now, looking for the shotgun kill onto him, and we'll get it with a nice pinch. Butters helping him out, swinging into the yellow stairs at the same time. Neptune's holding this angle, does get taken out. Was that from the console window? No, that was Dream once again. Nice entries into the site for him. Oh, and another shot onto Super. Well played by Dream. Tempo really setting the tempo for this matchup.
You know, good play on words there, Rams, if I do say so myself. And now leaving us all up to the anchors on site, as it looks like it's going to be Scottis. He'll find one onto Filthy, and with the pulse here close on the yellow stairs, she could actually go for this rush up the stairs. Oh, the Zofia not aware. That's a down onto Butters, but isn't actually going to go for the pickup. So the Zofia, with that unique ability to withstand, is going to be able to pick herself back up, unless, you know, it looks like her teammate will get the pickup. So Goddess, in the 1v3 situation, does have a low HP Zofia, and with the Alda, has the ability to clutch out this round if only she's not able to give in these picks. It looks like Butters playing it very smart. Actually going to find the thermite, but isn't able to land enough shots, as Butters finally peeks wide on those yellow stairs and will end out that round, putting 2 in a row for Tempo Storm. And also, Rams, you might want to pause for just 1 second and then restart it, because I think you're a second ahead of me for whatever reason.
Okay. I paused, and I'm at 11, 10, 9, 8. Is that enough?
I think so. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
All good.
In the hood.
So, Tempo looking good so far. Nice teamwork onto the yellow staircase to get rid of Gomfi. A little bit too passive play out of the Soniqs in terms of Super, you know, kind of crouch walking into the angle that Dream is holding. Obviously, players are going to be sitting inside of that projector room. What I've really liked, okay, so you and I, Razors, we've seen it a lot in the past.
Mm-hmm.
An ACOG, whether it's a Maestro, a Doc, an Echo, something like that, plays in the bathroom near the yellow stairs and utilizes that rotation hole and that angle towards the projector door, right? So
Yeah.
what I really liked about that push was not only that they were able to, obviously utilize their positioning to end up fragging Gomfi at some point, but that they used those angles against the defenders. They used the angles that they set up themselves to gain control of the upstairs fully. Obviously, Goddess in a 2v5, or was it 1v4 towards the end there. Didn't exactly have everything in her favor, but good cover by Tempo Storm onto each other. Obviously, Butters on the yellow staircase was instrumental in winning that round, but I think it overall looks good for both sides in a sense. I think that Soniqs just need to clean up a few of their positional plays, and they'll be looking good. We are seeing this mute that I was talking about before. No Mozzie yet, which is which is kind of curious in my mind. But having Slebin to try to gain info with the pulse scanner is also effective. I think that Slebin will be instrumental in this defense if he can get below back to sight once the attackers gain control of the upstairs, and to just give info to Super so that Super knows when they're going to be pushing through that bathroom doorway, and maybe even just getting a free C4 kill on anybody trying to push Super at it as a whole.
Yeah, definitely very custom play here. As a few of those bans come in, get your stupid cheats out of here. I don't even know if those are real anymore. But either way, it's nice to see that stuff coming through. But Slebin playing this Pulse in Archives is definitely a standard play for a Pulse player on this map. You'll see him just play this bottom floor as he's able to gain pretty much as much intel as he needs in order to deny entry for these roamers, or at least gather intel for the rest of his team in order for them to, kind of take that all in, decide whether or not they want to act on that intel or just play the waiting game. And it looks like it's going to be the waiting game here for the Susquehanna Soniqs, as it's all up to Super here. He's actually inside of Circle Desk. I'm not sure if he's actually been droned out, but he's going to try to go for the push here. Again, just going undroned by Tempo Storm. We saw him make plays like this in USN. We'll get punished back, though, as Dream gets the trade. About half the round remaining. That's the roamer off the board. And I mean, you lost your Zofia for the mute. That's one Nitro Cell for a little bit of vertical pressure and some stun grenades. I think that's a worthy trade. As at least you still have this buck in order to open up as many holes above as you can. Looks like we will be seeing Creators going for that exothermic charge on the main wall. It's actually a mirror window that was placed here. Not sure if Creators is able to open that up, but no, he's actually going to die because of it. A nice shot there from Goddess as some trades go back through. A lot of low HP on the defense here as 2 kills go in favor of the attack, but there's actually nobody on the main wall now to pick up the diffuser and go for the plant, so they might have to end up going for frags here if no one rotates outside.
Yeah, things not looking too hot for the Soniqs at the moment. Obviously, these mirror windows and the plays they wanted to make downstairs sort of coming back to bite them, as Filthy had cut off their rotation completely when they tried to go flank up the Visa staircase. One trapped behind the A-bomb, going to be holding an angled Dream. Is getting a drone on him at the moment. They're going to peek at them. Oh, and he just looks away at just the right time.
Oh!
Taking a little bit of damage from Kitchen. A missed nade. Goddess. Oh no! Dream with the TK onto Crazy and Filthy onto Neptunes now in a 2v1 scenario. The diffuser, however, has been planted. Dream just trying to give as much intel as possible as whether or not Goddess is going for the defuse. I think that an air jab just got placed above. Yes, it did. It just got placed above the diffuser. Now Goddess knows where the push is coming from, and she's going to down Filthy. Huge play from Goddess there, and some misplay from Tempo, unfortunately. Just looking away at the kitchen angle at the wrong time. Goddess will clutch up the round for her team.
Well played there by the support player herself, Goddess, playing that Mira perfectly and able to get the down onto Filthy. that as soon as that grenade left Dream's hand, I was like, that's definitely going to be hitting the Ash. I was like, there's no way that doesn't ricochet off the Ash. I'm not sure what that grenade was or what he was trying to do with that. It looked like he was trying to launch it all the way over White Van, but in that case, you just got to hold the angles and wait for them to push into you, because as he was going for the grenade, it was exactly when Goddess peeked through that kitchen doorway, and just the timing did not work out for him. So a little bit of unfortunate timing there, but also a little bit of a misplay, if I do say so.
Yeah, it's tough because obviously he wants to throw that grenade behind the White Van to try to cover the rotate hole, so he can properly funnel Goddess not only away from the diffuser but into his own crosshairs. But he has to expose himself to the doorway for just a split second in order to actually throw that grenade efficiently, which is where, it kind of fell apart for them. Honestly, getting the diffuser down was huge, and I think that Filthy played it well by putting an air jab above the diffuser. I liked that play. Unfortunately, after the Nomad charge went off, it kind of choreographed his position as Goddess would say to herself, okay, there's only really one place he's going to place that Nomad charge from, because why would he put an air jab above the diffuser from yellow stairs if he can just shoot Goddess while she's going for the defuse, you know? So it kind of like, it obviously, it's sort of acted as intel for Goddess herself at that moment. But obviously, Tempo Storm really, like I said, setting the tempo here. I hate to keep using that, but that's literally what they're doing. They're making this a very fast-paced affair. And I think I'm hearing myself back through you. I don't know if this stream can hear that or not, but it's, I can hear it. I don't want to try to make sure we.
I'm not sure. I don't think that's. I don't think that's me.
Maybe
Oreo, is that you?
He was unmuted there for a second. I was just like slightly
watching.
Oreo,
you better not be. You don't be screwing up our stream, okay? Because this is our stream. No, I appreciate Oreo being here to help me spectate. As I was having a little bit of a difficult time. They're trying to spectate and cast and also work with the overlays, but neither here nor there, as it has been fixed up. So hopefully you guys don't hear us twice. That would be kind of annoying. I could assume as. Oh no, here comes the grenade flying through, but oh, it looks like the ADS trick there from Neptunes is going to save his life. Will it be able to save his life a second time? The grenade comes flying through. It doesn't get caught out, but it will do about 25 HP to Neptunes, just not landing in the right spot, I guess. I'm not really too sure what happened there, but there's no more grenades here, and with the first pick going in favor of the Soniqs, that's going to be leaving them in the man advantage. They're not even rotate here on the yellow stairs. They're just letting the Jaeger play there as a suicide mission. That's kind of an interesting play, to say the least.
I think that it's just mainly because yellow stairs is so important for the attackers to take control of. Now that the grenades are gone, Super can more closely support Neptune's endeavor here on the yellow staircase, most likely to retake that position if he does get removed. However, at the moment, Tempo Storm are going to stall out here with a man disadvantage. They're still focused a little bit on trying to take control of yellow stairs, but Neptunes and the rest of Soniqs know for sure that if they keep control of yellow staircase, with this being a B-bomb oriented push, and a nice shot, nice peek from Neptunes onto the yellow stairs, another push up from the bottom of the staircase. Crazy though will trade him out now that the attackers have control of yellow stairs. Knowing exactly where Crazy is, Super's going to peek out, throw a smoke, and take him down. Slebin now trading it back onto Dream. I think he might have jumped outside actually and is trying to, oh, he's at the bottom of yellow stairs. This is a good play from Slebin, knowing exactly where the rest of the attackers are. I think that obviously those grenades not working out for them were a big problem, but overall, you know, Soniqs reading into the attack, sort of knowing exactly where Tempo were going to come from, and that seemed like a pretty easy cleanup for the Soniqs there.
Yeah, that was definitely a Soniqs round through and through. As I mean, they only lost one defender, and that was the Jaeger to that Ash rushing just up the Visa stairs. After he was able to get 2 picks of his own, so definitely well played there from Gonfi to be able to find those picks. Or was it Gonfi? No, it was actually Neptunes on the Jaeger. So that round, they've been doing a lot of operator, just like the role changes. Like we've been seeing Gonfi on the Jaeger, we've seen Neptunes play Jaeger as well. So definitely switching some stuff up depending on the site. And speaking of sites, Tellers and Archives, not a site that you see too often, but definitely a site that has become more and more popular as teams have been allowed to play around with it a little bit here and there. They've been able to come up with more strats, and it's definitely a site where you want to bring a couple nitro cells, you know, definitely at least 2, and some intel as well.
Yeah, tons of vertical play on this site in particular. It's awkward to attack, but at the same time, it's really awkward to defend. Obviously, we're going to have to see whether or not Tempo can formulate or have like a strategy in mind as to want to attack it. Obviously, with this site, entails a lot of taking map control for the attack, and if the attackers can lock down the Visa staircase, whether it's from the bottom or from the top, they effectively cut off the rotates from the defenders, so that should be a strong focal point for any kind of attack onto this site. But it can be difficult to get to those positions because of how awkward attacking that position is without taking tons and tons of map control. Obviously, we have a lot of defenders playing upstairs, trying to deny the take of the admin office, as this gives full vertical control of Visa, which is the room directly outside of the teller's site. So we're just going to have to see how they play it and how long they can delay the attack coming from Tempo. Butters peeking in through the small office into kitchen at the moment, waiting for any defenders that might walk into his crosshairs as the rest of his team tries to drone for him. It looks like at the moment he's just waiting, biding his time. One does peek him, and he'll get taken out, but then it's a dual push. Another one coming up the Visa staircase. Neptunes will trade it out. Butters has been taken down, and Neptune's on very, very low health. This trade obviously goes in favor of the attackers. So at the moment right now, they seem to have more control, but then another player is inside of the kitchen. That's Gomfy taking down Crazy. A little bit lacking of intel there. Gomfy still playing in the exact same position. Will almost win out another fight, but ends up losing it to Creators, who's now rotated to watch the Visa stairs.
There was 3 defenders on this top floor, and there's still one inside of admin. Slebin biding his time here. I'm not sure if the attack knows that he's up here or not. We have Dream on the admin rappel, but is it going to be enough here? Slebin's been allowed to rotate all the way back over towards vending machine, taking out a drone in the process, as it looks like the rappel has come in from Dream on that buck and starting to get pinched out by Creators as well. He'll rotate his way all the way back towards the bathroom, giving away this top floor back to the attack. And as this has been a very interesting defense, Neptunes will find his 2nd kill on the round, and it'll be all left up onto the full HP buck. Does have a couple lit operators on the defense, but isn't going to be enough for him to be able to find this round. He'll find one on the Neptune, so that's a good start for the buck. And with the Mira playing downstairs and Slebin all the way over inside of bathroom on the top floor, this could be a round win for Dream if he plays his cards right. But going downstairs is going to be tricky, as he's going to have to deal with a couple of mirror windows set up by Goddess. Does not have a mirror window set up onto this red hallway. He's going to go chuck a grenade, but the wide peek from Goddess is going to be the demise of Dream. An excellent defense of the Archives Tellers for the Soniqs, and that'll be 3 rounds in a row for them. After a quick start for Tempo Storm, it's a quick turnaround for the Soniqs, as they now have the lead for the first time.
Yeah, Soniqs are one of those teams where if they lose the first few rounds, you can't really read into them. What they're doing is the way that their opponents are playing. Obviously, they've made some adjustments to win the last 3 defenses in a row, and I am confused as to why Wamai is even being picked right now. Obviously, that has to be a 6th pick.
Yeah.
And
there he is.
Obviously, Tempo could say something about that at the end of the day, but...
Your protest. Protest.
Right. Excuse me. So, moving into this next round, Tempo Storm are going to be able to pinpoint which defensive location they're going to be going to. Most likely, they're prepared to attack the downstairs. They have the necessary operators. Filthy's been doing a good job on Nomad, I think, of cutting off defender rotations and just watching the flank in general, which is really what you want out of your Nomad player. There's really no other reason or point to bringing a Nomad other than setting up flank watch and watching the flank. But what I'd really like to see out of Soniqs is just the way that they're rotating and the way they're covering each other in position to trade, like we saw in the game beforehand. Obviously, Tempo are doing a better job of trading out in this match as opposed to what we just watched with Senji, who did play very well. Yes, that's right, Senji, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure I'm saying the team name, or I don't want to say it wrong.
No, all good. Yeah.
They did play a good match. So we're just gonna have to see what Tempo have in store for us. They are definitely looking like they want to set up and open the garage as quickly as possible, which is exactly what's gonna happen. We might actually see another rush out of them, but do they know that the player is playing hard right at the wall? I believe that Creators is waiting for that peek. As at the moment, looking for it directly. There's another defender rotating down the yellow staircase that covers this from 2 different angles. Goddess has retreated to the back of the white van, trading positions with Super, who's going to be playing behind, or excuse me, trading positions with Goddess behind the white van now. Jaeger rotates his way down the stairs looking towards and is going to establish their position on pipes. 4 attackers outside of the garage right now. They could just be looking for an opportunity to maybe throw in a nade and just push off of it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to make this attack happen onto the garage. Just a few grenades come flying through. Like you said, a big stack up outside the garage. It gives them the presence that there might be a rush coming in here. And Neptune's with this bullet hole is going to eat a few bullets through. Nice little peek there from the attackers. You're going to be seeing exactly how Tempo Storm want to make this attack happen. Is they're going to have to contest with a lot of players here. Oh, a well-placed grenade there by Dream is going to blow Goddess out of the water, but 2 quick kills from Soniqs are going to be answered by Butters. It's a 3v3 now, and Push Machine coming in from all angles. Butters hits a nice shot there on Dagonfi. It's now a 3v2 here for the attack, and with the diffuser all the way inside of Kitchen, we could see Dream going for this diffuse plant. The last 2 players are the 2 roamers, Super and Sleben. The super power player coming down the yellow stairs isn't going to be finding anybody just yet as the plant finally comes down from Dream, and these angles will be held by the Tempo Storm. Butters with a triple kill in the round will get finished off, but does have the ability to pick himself back up, but he won't even have to, as it's going to be Creators on the Thermite to find the final frag of the round and tie things up here at the half, 3 apiece.
Yep. Very well played by Tempo there. They held the exact angles they needed to. Some great gunfights were taken by Butters in particular. And you always just have to highlight Creator's clutch factor. Obviously, Butters could have potentially picked himself back up after getting downed. The diffuser was planted though, and he had the disadvantage, in my opinion, in that fight. However, Super did not know of his location behind pipes, and he was able to just do a nice little quick flick to finish off the round. But I think that, you know, that attack from Tempo, obviously it stalled out for a moment, the first grenade not really yielding any results. The second, however, landed on its mark. They pushed in, looked towards pipes. Like, if you remove the player behind white van and you push one behind white and the rest are looking towards the hallway, yellow stairs, and towards pipes and other angles like that, obviously there was a wall bang towards the small office where Neptunes was playing with that Maestro. Those were all huge kills. Great execution by Tempo to win that round, bringing it to a 3-3 scoreline moving into their defense.
Going to be seeing the Jackal brought yet again. He has yet to be banned, which is very surprising. As a ranked player, Jackal is pretty much an automatic ban for, I feel like, every single ranked match. It's definitely a different story for comp, but he has seen a nerf, I guess, so he's not as powerful as he once was, which was insane how much in the meta he was and just how strong an operator Jackal as an individual. I don't even know what I'm saying. He was a strong operator, very strong.
I was just gonna say that at the beginning of the season, when it comes to ranked, I said that the Jackal nerf won't affect his ban rate in ranked. I think that a lot of people just don't want to have to play against it at all. Obviously, in competitive, he's not as impactful. He does still give intel to his team in terms of the pings. But I think that the nerf puts him in the right place, and I think that operators like Capitao, who currently have no counter, now will be banned more often. But I think that Tempo Storm looked good in all of the rounds, but the last one in particular, I think they looked very well disciplined and they can execute well. Creators now playing on the yellow staircase on this defensive round, doing the same thing we saw Neptune doing before with excuse me. We have Filthy playing the Maestro near the bathroom window. Just waiting, biding his time. A grenade could come flying down to take him out if he doesn't have an ADS, but I'm pretty sure any ADS placed on the yellow staircase will catch that grenade. And we're just gonna have to see what the Soniqs decide to do here. Lots of holes opened up on yellow stairs, pinpointing Jaeger's exact location right at that moment. Neptunes will be trying to throw a nade and flashbang in combination towards that Jaeger. Could take him out. No damage dealt to Creators just yet. He rotated back into the bathroom, I'm assuming, or at least maybe into the hallway for a moment to miss that. However, Creators has just been downed by Sleben in the bathroom. Filthy's taken a ton of damage himself. And now this is the opportunity the attack has been waiting for to try to push in and take control of Yellow Staircase, but it looks like Neptunes is going to confirm that kill onto Creators with a well-placed grenade, or at least buck open the floor below him to save that nade.
Oh my God.
Got us with a nice shot onto Filthy. Not quite sure where that came from. Must have just been a nice little one-tap from somewhere, but it still yielded the results that they wanted. Super playing on the B-bomb repel is going to be locking down those rotations for the defenders, at least into the site, utilizing that Nomad. And now Butters is going to have to be a focal point for the attack, along with Dream, as those are the only two ways that they're going to be able to deny the plant, and there's 50 seconds left.
Yeah, not a lot of time indeed, and it's not looking good with the man advantage in favor of the Soniqs, and they've yet to make this push happen onto site. Most of these defender or attackers are still on the outside. You can see the Mozzie being tracked down below, so they know that there's a Nitro Cell potential down there. Dream will take one out onto Slevin. That's a big pick to be able to keep those downstairs. Oh, crazy! Good night, Gonfi, as he'll be an early grave. Goddess takes out Dream, but there's still the smoke. He will take out the repel in from the Nomad, dropping the diffuser on the window. With the diffuser still on that window and Butters down below, he'll take down Goddess and retreat all the way down towards the bottom of the spiral. Neptune's trying to find the frag, but it's going to be on to no avail as the Mozzie has rotated all the way back up to the top of spiral stairs. Neptune's on about 10 HP. He's going to try to rotate in through yellow. Cannot find anybody as they're both playing it very passively. An excellent round from Tempo Storm as they take round number 1 of the second half, and quite convincingly there, as it didn't look good towards the end, but the big players showing up for Tempo Storm.
Yep, they wasted a ton of time on yellow stairs. The attack never actually took control of it for quite a while. Yes, Goddess was able to take down Filthy, which was a big pick, and Neptunes was able to take down Creators after he was down from the bathroom window. But the big points there that we have to focus on are that Crazy was pretty much left unpressured inside of Connector. Yes, I believe it was Gomfi moved his way into the bathroom and was holding an angle on Connector, but that was well anticipated by Crazy, who was utilizing his smoke canisters to great effect, keeping the attackers at bay. Once Super was down with the diffuser, that was pretty much lights out for that round. Some great plays by Dream and Butters to keep the man count pretty much even. Obviously, the attackers really needed to focus all of their pressure onto Crazy. Like, when they know that there's 2 defenders downstairs with Nitro Cells, if they had droned out and like gathered their intel appropriately, if they pinpoint Crazy's location and literally just push Crazy and take control of everything, that gives that puts the defenders in a really awkward position where they have to be in the right place at the right time. Otherwise, they're pretty much scrambling around downstairs, listening to the intel they were given by their teammates, and just biding their time, waiting for Crazy to delay the plant until the timer was gone. So ultimately, very well played by Tempo. They were much more organized and they kept their composure, and I think that that's what they were missing at the U.S. Nationals.
I don't know how to spell quiet, do I? No, there you go.
I don't know if you know how to spell quiet or not.
No, I don't know. Someone's apparently quiet, and I'm trying to figure out who. I don't want us to be quiet. I want us to be nice and loud for you guys. That way we break some eardrums. But no, either way, round number 8, round advantage in favor of Tempo Storm is. This has got to be another round win, you know. They've got to start racking up these rounds and start making an advantage on the Soniqs. If you give them any room, it's just going to give them more momentum, you know. And as soon as you give a team like the Soniqs momentum, they're just going to run away with it, you know. They're a very momentum heavy team, I guess is a way to put it. But
yeah, you just don't want the attackers you don't want the Soniqs to start snowballing, where they just gain that momentum and the snowball keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it collects more pace, right?
Yes. That's a very good analogy, you know, a snowball. Rolling down a hill, gathering more and more snow, more and more mass, more and more force, you know. As a mechanical engineer, I have to know about these things, you know, force, momentum, torque, all things that I'm sure would bore you all to death. So I'm not going to go into that, as I don't even know much about it myself, and that's my major. But either way, half the round remaining, and it looks like an excellent job has been done in clearing out these roamers and being able to take control of the piano, as Neptunes is going to start to do a little bit of reconstruction here, as Gonfi, it seems, is holding on to his rotation on those yellow stairs with the Ash. Looking to see if any rotate might come up from Tempo Storm, as it looks like Dream is actually going to be the first defender to try to take advantage of a late flank possibly, but is just going to hold on to these yellow stairs for the time being with about a minute left and still some reconstruction being done on this first floor. It doesn't really seem like the Soniqs are able to gather much control as of yet. They have been able to open up that garage and could start to go for that plant, as there's nobody actually inside the garage itself, but they're going to have to be weary of some possible nitro cells or some remote gas canisters coming in from Crazy, as it looks like the first one will be dispelled by the man himself. They also have this shield, an interesting shield on pipes that's going to be allowing the Maestro to have an aggressive angle without being shot from the hatch or from above. Looks like the plant will start to come in from Goddess as it starts to go down. No gas canisters, they don't have the intel on it. Some shots from above is going to be the buck to try to get the frag. The plant will be successful from Goddess, and it's going to be a cleanup here from the Susquehanna Soniqs as it's going to be now a 1v4 for Butters. The man himself has probably one of the better shots on Tempo Storm, but he won't even make it past Super as he shuts things down and ties things back up at 4 apiece.
That was a great round for the Soniqs. Obviously, they bided their time, waited. They took control of Piano, Circle Desk, Visa, and opened up the wall and had control of Yellow Staircase the entire time. They were never really contested in any of those endeavors, which gave them a big advantage moving forward. Obviously, the shield that you highlighted on top of Yellow Pipes, or excuse me, on top of Pipes itself was a nice angle, but they read into what that angle can see and planted in a position that was not visible to it. Once the Maestro tried to move off of Pipes to go for those shots onto the diffused planter, they already had angles established towards Pipes to get, to pick him off from. So the plant was very well covered. Got 6 pick onto Goyo here. I want to see where these get placed. They're going back downstairs once again. So I just want to see where the shields get placed if they're put in positions to, highlight Goyo's mechanic itself.
This is the second time we've seen Goyo now? I think we only saw him once in the last matchup, and that was when Super brought him.
Yeah.
So the second Goyo of the evening, which is definitely interesting. I would assume that we would have seen much more of him, as when he first got released, the opinion from a lot of pro players, from what I was able to gather, was that he was overpowered as all get out with 3 shields and how much damage each of them do. And to my knowledge, I don't think he's been buffed or nerfed at all. Am I correct in saying that, or?
You are correct in saying that. I think that this is Goyo's strength. This is one of those sites where you want Goyo. Look at how he's placing the shields. These shields are annoying. They disrupt the position of the attackers if they want to go for a plant. Any of them can be destroyed from multiple positions all around the defensive site that are most likely angles that the defenders are going to try to hold in order to deny the plant for as long as possible, utilizing those shields. This is one of the defensive locations where his ability can get highlighted significantly. So I'm happy that they are going to bring Goyo, and I also think that Goyo is in a position right now to where nobody really knows where to put his shields to make them most effective. Because once the shields are once the positions of where you want the shields to be to deny plants and to deny map control are established, we're going to see every single team using those locations, because not having a Goyo, it's sort of why wouldn't you bring Goyo? It eats up a ton of attacker utility. You have to have at least 2 frag grenades and, or 2 Zophias and an Ash. Yeah, it eats up so much attacker utility. There's no reason not to use them. Obviously, there's a double-edged sword. They can damage the defenders as well. But being a 2-speed, Goyo can also maneuver the map and just be a thorn in the side, utilizing that shotgun if they want, or another great gun, which is going to be Mira's Vector. So it's going to be interesting to see what Goyo evolves into as an operator. But as of right now, you can see Neptune's is just opening up various angles to try to get rid of these shields. They don't want to have to get rid of them late in the round. They want to get rid of them as early as possible, or at least just maybe only having to get rid of one to establish a position to go for the plant. Obviously, this choreographs it to the defenders, but once again, these angles being opened up towards the pipes, they know there's a shield playing there. They might try to distribute a grenade to that position to try to displace that player. At the moment, they don't really need to, but obviously Neptune's job is going to be watching that player as they try to push down off of that position.
Yeah, a little bit of damage taken there by Butters through the floor as he was just peeking a little bit too far off of the shield, but 45 seconds left. It seems like another case scenario that we saw last round. Nobody inside of the garage, and both panels have been opened up, so likely going to be seeing Goddess go for the plant, but no Dream. He's taking back control of upstairs along with Butters. They have full vertical control, so there's no way that Goddess can play it close on this breach like she did before. A 3v5 advantage defense, as it's going to be a complete split push. It looks like Super pushing down the service stairs here is going to have to deal with 2 defenders, one in lockers and one inside of kitchen. Who will he go for? He'll go for the one inside of lockers. A nice choice there as he takes on creators. 2 quick kills for the Soniqs. That's going to be a third, though, for Butters, or for Dream, my apologies. Butters picks up one, and it's a quick cleanup from Filthy, as that round was fairly chaotic. It almost looked like it was going to be a throw there from Tempo Storm, but quickly swept right back up by the remaining 3 players.
I love that play by Dream and Butters to retake piano control with just about 30 seconds left in the round. Obviously, that puts the attackers in a terrible position. They needed to keep control of those locations if they wanted to go for a plant at all. Obviously, the Goyo shields were still in position to deny plant if necessary. Filthy, utilizing those Maestro turrets, could have set those off whenever he wanted, but that play by Butters and Dream to retake control. If you notice, Butters went above with an impact grenade to open up more of the floor to give himself more of an angle towards the garage, and then Dream went to the top of Yellow's staircase to stop any attackers coming from Yellow in order to retake control of piano, which none of them were in position to do. But overall, it was a very well-played round by them, and great adaptation round to round in order to realize what it takes to actually win and stop the Soniqs push. So we're seeing a close game once again by these two teams, and I think that if Tempo can win another defense, they might just run away with this one and take the map.
I agree. I mean, if they take this next round, it is a lobby defense, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging. It's an off-site for most rosters, so we'll see how Tempo Storm choose to play this, but they're definitely a very strong consulate team. Back when they were two-faced inside a Challenger League, I know you and I casted a couple matches here, one in particular against Rise Nation, which went the distance. Rise Nation, another strong team on consulate. It just seems like consulate's just a competitive map, you know? A lot of teams are very good at consulate, and with the new implications of these bomb sites and some reworks coming here and there, it's making a lot of these maps more competitive and a lot more fun to watch, and I'm loving it, to be honest with you. So going into round, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just agreeing with what you were saying, that this is probably one of the most fun maps to watch in Rainbow Six at the moment.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much every bomb site on this map is viable. You know, we see teams choose to go to archives and tellers, and we see a lot of teams even choosing to go to the lobby first and foremost, like we saw from the Soniqs. So it's just awesome how competitive these matches are going. But I mean, either way, here round number 10, and it's a lobby defense. So it's gonna be curious to see how this attack shapes up. It looks like Gonfi might even come up the spiral stairs. That's going to be the first pick going in favor of Tempo Storm. Again, Sleben on that Jackal. We saw him fall quite early on in the last matchup against Senshi. Not really playing that Jackal to its full potential. It got to be worrisome here as... Oh no, here comes the Ash. Creators, can you hit your shots? No! Both players will miss, but it's finally Creators to end up getting that frag, as finally a trade will come through from Super. He actually finds 2 frags for himself.
Super playing the upper spiral window, trying to give as much cover to Gonfi as possible. We'll be able to trade it back to even up the man count. Creators with a nice fight there, and what you see from the Soniqs, they obviously told Gonfi, hey, switch to my drone real quick so you can see Creators is playing, so he can go into that engagement with full information instead of just going off of what his teammates were saying. I like that play there. This is a very different attack than what we saw from Tempo Storm. At least now Soniqs is, putting their sort of flair into the attack when it comes to lobby. Obviously, at the moment, this is a Visa-sided push. The Soniqs right now just need to set up their drones in positions to make sure that they know where the defenders can push from, and once they push into the site, I believe that they should have it fully covered. Super just needs to make his way into Spiral while Goddess covers his hallway, and make sure that from the front door, which is where I believe Neptunes is playing, or no, he's playing from above the hatch. Okay, so this is even better now. Filthy, however, will take down Super. No real angle to fight back onto from Neptunes or Goddess. Goddess still wanting to watch the hallway, but the drone is set up. Concussion mines being shot into the hallway as Neptunes will drop and try to cover as the diffuser will get planted. Filthy, however, will win that fight onto Neptunes. Now will almost win the fight onto Goddess. Yes, a nice 3K from Filthy to finish up the round. Tempo Storm winning another one and putting themselves on map point for this matchup.
Match point indeed, and we said it. If they push themselves to match point here, it definitely looks good for Tempo Storm. As a win in the lobby, that means they've completed their full rotation and they're able to go back upstairs to the console and meeting room. So looking to see if they can't make this happen again. I mean, last time that they went up here, it was kind of some miraculous plays from the anchors, especially Crazy hitting some nice shots with that SMG-11. Crazy just seems like he's that SMG-11 player, you know? Like, you know how Pengu is the SMG-11 player just basically for EU entirely? Like, you'll see him just play the SMG-11, you'll play Sledge, you'll play him on Smoke and Mute, and he's just insane with it. Crazy is like that, but for Tempo Storm. So definitely also good to see him on those support roles with the SMG. But looking at the kills here, Dream and Filthy top fragging with double digits apiece. A little bit more even scoreboard on the side of the Soniqs, but haven't really been seeing the success in round count like we have with Tempo Storm. So they definitely need to try to figure out something in these following rounds if they don't want to lose the first map, which again, I will remind you that this first map was picked by the Soniqs. They picked Consulate. They wanted to come here, so it's interesting that they're not seeing the success that I think we thought. And again, the second map is Villa, which is a map that was just played by the Soniqs against Senshi. They actually picked that against Senshi. So obviously Tempo Storm with that bye first round, able to look at the stream, at my stream. So they definitely saw what the Soniqs were trying to do on Villa, and they obviously have a plan of attack for it. So it's going to be interesting to see how they choose to play that.
Yeah, but this map isn't over yet. Soniqs can come back here.
Oh yeah.
Super picking the Nomad, going to be rotating his way onto the B windows like we saw before. But before he does that, he's going to have to place his air jabs. Top of the yellow wall getting opened up by Neptunes to try to kill any of the defenders playing inside of the cubby or by the single panel wall next to the windows, which is a common location mostly played with the utilization of an ADS. I'm liking this drone placement from Neptunes to give as much intel as possible onto this location as possible, knowing that most likely the Jaeger is going to be playing in between where the drone can see at the pillar. Creators revealing his position. All three ADSs placed here. No Thatcher on the board, so he doesn't have to worry about any of that, but a lot of utility is going to get dumped in here. More and more utility getting thrown in. Tons of flashbangs. Does he have any more charges left on the ADS? No, he doesn't. And he's going to have to challenge the ceiling. Is going to get taken down by Sleben. However, Dream is going to trade it back onto Gomfi with a nice run out all the way from Visa. Not quite sure where that where the Ash was actually positioned out there, but Dream obviously using his cardiac sensor to pinpoint it, figuring out where it is, and it was in a great position to keep the man count even. Obviously, Filthy has taken a ton of damage. He's getting jackal tracked at the moment, so that's not good for him. However, I don't think any of the Soniqs are in a position to take advantage of that. Sees Super there for just a second, could go for the shot. No, Super is going to win that peek out on to Filthy. Now with the Maestro off the board, that is a big problem for the defenders. Crazy still, however, playing inside of the connector. We could see a repeat performance from him if he has the time on his hands. However, Neptunes has taken control of Yellow Stairs now, which is something that the attack lacked the other time that they pushed this. Sleben still playing on the bathroom connector, is providing a lot of cover as smoke canisters are trying to delay it. Crazy trying to look through the smoke, takes a ton of damage, but not quite sure from where. Super is moving back and forth between the windows. Crazy is challenging this very dangerously. Super wins another fight, and the Soniqs win that round, making it 5-6 in the scoreboard, I do believe.
Yeah, 5-6 it will be. Going into round number 12 here. It's interesting now. Are Tempo Storm going to be able to pull this away? They do now have the ability to go back down to the basement if they do choose to, and it'll be interesting to see what they decide. Actually, no, it'll be the Teller's Archives. That's right. That's what the site that... No, wait. They have both available. Which one are you going to choose? Looks like they're going to choose Garage instead of going for that offsite in the Teller's Archives. As that was actually... No, that was the Soniqs that chose to go down there, correct? I don't think Tempo Storm has gone there.
Yeah, Tempo Storm did not choose to go down there. I'm a little wary of Tempo Storm's operator selection at the moment. I think the Goyo shields were important when they defended here before. Obviously, it's not like they influenced the round and directly stopped the plant, but they do eat up utility in time is something that the attackers have to remove. Obviously, the attack is going to play out the exact same way given the way that this map is at the moment. They're asking for a rehost after this round or map.
The server is laggy. Are you sure? Yeah. Prove that it's on. Prove that it's on cuss, Oreo. Let's see the pause menu. I don't believe you. I think it's east. I think it's east. Watch
You
it.
can
It's
just
actually...
bring up the menu and we'll see.
No, I know. He's a little bit ahead of us though, so it's gonna take a second to actually like for him to pull it up. We'll see. We'll see. Oreo.
But like I was saying, the attacking round is gonna play out the exact same way. But actually, we're seeing a bathroom defense coming out from Tempo, so they are changing it up a little bit, trying to delay Soniqs pushes. And I believe that, you know, this could work out in their favor if they can keep the wall closed for as long as possible. But it all depends on how long they hold the upstairs. Yeah, it's on CUS.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
So if the defenders can waste about 2 minutes of time upstairs defending up top with smoke, it's definitely possible. Crazy definitely making a heads-up play to try to bring this game into his hands. He will directly influence the result of this round because of his positioning. The rest of the defenders will be downstairs. Crazy will be able to rotate back down below. However, if he does not maintain control and waste enough time on the defensive side, what's going to end up happening is they're going to have a direct line of sight to behind pipes from this hatch, and that could prove deadly for the defenders if they don't waste enough time here. Crazy repositioning his shield now, does have an ADS at his disposal, and I'm pretty sure the attackers at some point are going to start pressuring him. There's no reason for them not to, but he does have his smoke canisters and can wait for as long as possible. Right now, just trying to gather as much intel as possible as the attackers are converging on his location. He's going to have to be very careful and very patient with the way that he plays this. I doubt that any of the attackers are going to just run in there and peek him. They have tons of utility at their disposal. They could open the wall at the side of him. Yes, they are. They're going to buck that wall open. There is a player down below trying to help out. No damage being taken, though, as Crazy does get taken out by Gomfi. A 3-man push into the bathroom. That's a huge problem for the defenders now as that hatch is open. Another defender does get down and taken out. Super takes down Butters. That is Cade off of the board. Dream trying to push up the yellow staircase and will take down Gomfi. He needs to make a rotation and try to go for a flank now, but the more of the floor is being opened up. Dream looking for some shots through the floor, not quite landing anything. And in this scenario now, once the wall gets opened up, it's going to be really, really difficult for the defenders to win.
Yeah, unless they're able to retake upstairs like they were previously on the site, it's going to be a very difficult site indeed. Filthy retaking control of the back of White as Creators will find one onto Super. So that's that back rotate that was such a problem for them before. Super finding 2 kills on it previously, but not this time. Going to put things back into a 3v3 as 45 seconds left. We've got 2 players up top, and of course we have Goddess with a diffuser outside of the garage wall, as it's going to be her job to try to put that diffuser down. No cover, though, is going to be able to be placed down from these remaining attackers, as there's no one with smokes or anything. They have to go with straight gunfights. With only 30 seconds left, though, it's going to be interesting to see how they choose to play this. Where is the Jaeger? Where did he go? He has to be going for some sort of a flank. Yeah, he's made his way all the way up to the top of Spiral, as this could be the play here as the diffuser starts to go down from Goddess. Looks like Creator did get the call, and he's going to have to sprint in through Circle. Goddess gets off it for 1 second and gets right back on. Neptunes gets one from above. Can this be Creator's kills? Yes, he finds one up here. He's going to have to find a second, though, as it looks like it's going to be Slevin to take down Dream as he tried to rotate up yellow stairs. Goddess on the other side of White Van. Does Creators know? It looks like he goes for the shots. Will get a few into the back of Goddess, but it's ultimately Slevin outside White, outside Garage, to get the final kill. And it looks like we will be seeing a rehost here. We just need the rest of these players from the teams to leave the lobby. And we will be seeing a rehost here in and it looks like both teams are readied up here, so hopefully this will be our last time making our way into at least this map, because we've still got at least one more map to play, maybe a third, depending on how these 2 teams are going to be shaping out on Villa, which again is our next map. But yeah, it's Tempo Storm again choosing attack here for the overtime. We'll see if they're able to make this work out in their favor. As it's been an evenly matched matchup so far. Both sides winning 3 rounds and 3 rounds apiece. Like each of like neither attack nor defense has had an advantage in this matchup. Is what I'm trying to say.
I think speaking of advantages, though, SQ going to Teller's Archives, I feel like is their ace in the for this map, because at the moment, you know, there really wasn't an answer back for the defense that Soniqs put out there for Tempo Storm to fight through. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they have any kind of adaptation. attack it this time around. Obviously, they're going to have to be wary of those squirrely defenders playing inside of admin in strange positions that they're not supposed to be in per se, but I think that the information gathering and drone clearing being brought forth by Tempo during that round was not where it needed to be, at least in terms of like what areas were droned to make sure they could push safely. Lots of free kills being given to the defenders at that moment, but the Visa staircase was the primary focus. Like I said, we saw a lot of contested plays from the right outside this office, on the staircase, and at the bottom of the staircase. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tempo Storm adapt to this once they find out where the attack is coming from, or where the defensive site actually is. Excuse me.
It's going to be actually the first gridlock that we're going to be seeing of this matchup. It's normally been filthy on that Nomad, so it's interesting that they're choosing to go away from one flank / rotation denial operator to another. You know, foregoing that Nomad, which, I mean, you talked about was working so well for Filthy. It's interesting that he's choosing to switch off of that to the gridlock. Obviously has some sort of plan in mind in choosing that operator over the other. We're just gonna have to wait and see exactly how he chooses to play it here. And again, round number 13. A defensive archives tellers, which, as you said, is definitely going to be giving the element of surprise in favor of the Soniqs, as Gomphy's just going for a little bit of a jiggle peek there. We'll lose about 75% of his HP, putting him down to about 25. And as again, it's his top floor take for Tempo Storm, and this top floor hold is just seemed to be unstoppable for the Soniqs, as it's going to be 3 kills. Make that a flawless round. What just happened there for the Soniqs? They make it look easy with this top floor defense.
Yeah, that was not looking good for Tempo there. Tons of, gunfights being taken by the Soniqs at that moment. It was seemingly like a bottleneck for a little bit there, but, the Soniqs coming out on top of that looked very strong on that defensive site. I think that, Tempo now need to focus solely on their defense, and then their next attack thinking to themselves, okay, at least we can attack a site that we really know how to attack. Right now, that is the most awkward site to attack / defend, and as Soniqs just seem to have a little edge on it. But obviously, Tempo Storm aren't out of this game. Now they're going to go Archives Tellers, and we're going to see how they defend it versus the Soniqs, and we're going to see the difference between what the Soniqs and Tempo do on both attack and defense, and see if Tempo can get the same result, because they're putting the map on the line by selecting that defensive location.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
God. So this is the first time that we've seen Tempo Storm go to the site. We've seen the Soniqs play it twice now. So it's gonna be. I always say the word interesting, and I'm trying to stop myself. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know what it's. Well, give me a synonym for interesting. 'Cause I'm about to look it up in a second.
Intriguing.
Is it intriguing? That's a good one. It's gonna be intriguing to see how Tempo Storm chooses to defend it, as it's gonna be their first time going there.
We see a lot of the same operators being selected. Vertical play is pretty much the name of the game when it comes to the site. Obviously, the Soniqs are going to pinpoint a location where they feel like the vertical control will favor them and then push it. I mean, there's a few ways you can push this site, but at the end of the day, Soniqs most likely will take control of Projector and try to focus on taking out some of the defenders inside of admin while taking control of the Visa staircase. The Visa staircase, like I said, is pretty much the crux of this attack / defense. Whichever team seems to control that staircase is going to be dictating the pace of the rounds. So obviously they're going to try to get to the top of the staircase and control it that way, or maybe go to the window right at the bottom, or just get into Visa. But it's so hard. It's so hard even for me, as someone that's played this game since the very beginning, to even come up with a viable strategy for attacking it, depending on the way the defense sets up. There's going to be lots of intel being gathered by Dream on that pulse. Neptune's trying to get rid of the spider, spots the defender for just a second, can't quite land the shots, looking for the pre-fires at the top of the staircase. I'm pretty trying to figure out which defender that was, but it's actually going to be Creators picking up the first one onto Neptune's. That is the buck off the board, as Slevin is going to be peeking his way up towards the long desk, pinpointing one of the defenders downstairs with the Jackal track. Does he know that does he know if the defenders are even upstairs anymore? At this point, there are none. There is one attacker outside on the admin windows, but Dream is just going to be patiently waiting, trying to give as much intel for his team as possible, safely from below inside of lockers. Can't get wallbanged from any of those directions. There is no IQ on the board. Slebin is going to finish off Creators, however, off of that Jackal ping. And now, once again, we're still seeing Dream looking for any of the available attackers to try to give his team all the info. All the defenders are currently downstairs at the moment, so we're going to see what the attack does. It's all the, this is definitely, in the cards are, the ball is in their court, excuse me. The ball is in Soniqs' court. Slebin picks up one onto Filthy, so that's Mozzie off the board, but one attacker has been downed outside by a C4 that is super. He will be able to pick himself back up if he so chooses. Is Dream going to be ready to go for this pre-fire as Gomfy's going to run outside? No, he's not. There's still 1 minute left. The diffuser is downed outside. Dream has been pushed off of his location, looking for the rest of the attackers, knowing that Super can pick himself back up, which is exactly what's happened. Dream is going to be watching the spiral staircase now, as the rest of the defenders are going to be focused on trying to control the hallway and make sure that they can actually C4 the site from below. The site in the hallway hatch is being opened up, and now Dream looking for those players, not knowing which hatch was opened up, looking like he wanted to take a gunfight, but with about 30 seconds left, Soniqs need to converge on something.
Yeah, not a lot of time at all, and with still a couple Nitro Cells on the board, hopefully here for the defense, the plant will go down from Super. This Nitro Cell needs to start coming through. Slebin will find one, and it looks like the plant will be successful from Super, as it's a straight cleanup from Slebin, the superpower player. That will be an ace for the Jackal, and an excellent round there for the Soniqs to take the first map. 16 kills, by the way. Super just giving a little bit of BM in the chat. That's going to be the first map in favor of them, as we're going to be moving our way now over to Villa. And that's going to be an interesting matchup as well, as an intriguing matchup as well, as it's going to now be the second time that the Soniqs have played Villa tonight. So was Tempo Storm able to gather enough info from their earlier match to be able to beat them on it? We're going to have to wait and see here, as we're just going to see if they want to take a quick little break here or if they want to just go right into things. I assume that these teams want to go right into things, and this is getting a little bit late here. It's almost 11 o'clock my time, and probably closer to 12 o'clock for most of these players on the Eastern. And again, I just want to thank you guys all for these subs. I know that the sound is coming through, but I don't see the alert going off at all, which is kind of weird. But either way, thank you all so much for those subs. Very much appreciated.
There is definitely some intel based on, I'm sure that Tempo watched Senshi play versus Soniqs on Villa just that last game, which is probably why Tempo wants to play them on Villa. They might try to directly counter what Soniqs do. We just need to see what they actually try to do for it. It's going to be interesting to see what operators they ban. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a Jackal ban, because Slebin has been so effective on the Jackal. Like, not only, the intel being utilized by the team just enough to get those frags, but then his weapon obviously being a huge issue in terms of like just how many frags he was able to get during that last game on the Jackal. I think both teams are playing well. This is kind of what I expected it to be, another close affair. These two teams played excellently in the US Nationals over the weekend, and I just want to see if Tempo can bring it back and take it to a map 3. I don't want to see them get 2-0'd. I want them to, bring it to a map 3 to see like who the better team really is in this matchup. Obviously, there would need to be a third best of 3 played to see who the real better team is at the end of the day, no matter who wins this. But Soniqs looking really solid, playing to their strengths, their organization. Tempo Storm, once again, I felt like they faltered based on the lack of experience, probably defending the Teller's Archive site, or the amount of time they put into that bomb site. It was very strange for me to see both teams pick that site at the end, except for Soniqs. Really, I kind of felt like that was definitely like the play there. So good call by Super as the IGL to tell his team like, hey, let's go Teller's Archives. They had a really hard time attacking it before, and obviously that round was flawless for the Soniqs the second go around. So we're just going to have to see what Tempo has in store for us. Obviously, if Soniqs start on defense here, they're going to have a huge advantage moving forward. And now as we get the map underway, we're just going to see exactly how it shape ups in terms of the bans and which team starts on what side.
So that last map was 8-6, correct?
Yes.
I'm just getting ready to edit the command here. I don't want to give away anything just yet, but
Yeah.
always they have to have the commands ready to be uploaded or updated. So, like you said, gonna be interesting to see, or intriguing to see what the bans are, and it looks like the Soniqs will be banning out the Buck. That's a very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, I'm
I
looking
dig
at,
it. I dig it. Obviously, that last game with Senshi, the Buck must have been proving to be a very annoying component of the Senshi attack, and Soniqs most likely anticipating that Buck would be used to great effect by Tempo. We're going to see how it changes. Ash being banned by Tempo. That's interesting as well. Was there like a really prolific Ash player during the last game versus Senshi from the
Gomfi.
Soniqs?
Gomfi has played Ash in every single attacking round today, so it's gonna be fascinating to see what he chooses to switch on to.
As an entry, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Soniqs ban smoke. I don't know.
What are these
I'm
bans?
baffled. I'm baffled by the smoke ban. Really, like. That's
I
not
don't
really
think
a
I've ever seen a smoke ban.
Yeah, that's not really a target ban. Maybe they're gonna try to implement Goyo even more. Maybe they're gonna just try to like solely Goyo deny everything at this point. Given that Ash and Buck are banned, it kind of makes sense to bring Goyo at that point because there's so few operators left that have hard destruction that are actually possible to implement. Obviously, bringing the castle is another good choice. Mozzie and Mute being picked, that makes sense. There is a Thatcher coming out from Tempo. Excuse me, I almost didn't see it because of the. Oh, here we go. Six pick to Goyo. I'm digging it. I like the mind games being played here. So we're gonna see exactly how this plays out. There's only 2 Zofia charges and 2 grenades to get rid of those shields, so they're gonna have to waste at least 3 of those utilities in order to get rid of those shields, depending on how they're placed.
I've got to set up my stupid sheet here. We went into the next match so fast that I'm not even ready for it. I'm not even ready to take my notes. So I'm gonna have you take control for a little bit here.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in here, the Goyo picks and shield placements have been a hot topic, something that I have been talking about for a while. I'll just explain this to the casual viewers. I know obviously a lot of competitive and high-ranked players are going to understand exactly how this works in terms of the way Goyo is played. But pretty much, you don't want to place the shields in places where you actually want to play behind them. You want to put them in areas that the bomb plant is most likely to be placed, because then the attackers can't plant there until they remove the shield. And it takes time to remove those shields. It takes positioning, map control to remove those shields. So obviously the way that the Goyo shields are placed are important in terms of denying direct operator presence in those areas for an extended amount of time, usually about 10 to 15 seconds. The placements are being specifically put down as Dream actually picks up 1 frag onto Gomfi. Huge pickoff at the very beginning. Gomfi trying to play in a very exposed scenario, wasn't quite ready for this quick push. However, Slebin, wallbanging back towards the closet where the attackers are coming from, is going to pick up 1 onto Dream. Big frag. Another big frag for Slebin as he rotates back down to the site, or back downstairs, running all the way away, and now leaving the attackers in a 3v4 scenario with no soft destruction available to get rid of the Goyo shields. And this is where Goyo becomes powerful. The positioning of those shields is going to be huge in terms of whether or not the attackers are even going to be able to gain ground to get a plant down at all. At the moment, the attackers are congregating outside of the site above at the red staircase. They're going to be trying to watch their flanks and try to even up the man count if they can, but the defenders are going to rotate quickly and get into positions where it doesn't really make a difference. Some shots coming in through the drone hole, trying to get rid of this Maestro camera. They have to, oh my gosh, Filthy can't get rid of it because of its positioning. God is turning it back towards the plant and the wall. No soft destruction to get rid of it. That's going to be tons of intel available for the defenders the entire time. This round is not looking good for Tempo. They need to just make as much of it as they can and just move on to the next one, because I feel like this is a lost cause at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. As they don't have the man advantage, they don't have health advantage either, and they definitely don't have as much utility as they had to start off the round. It looks like Cabana is actually going to use those pellets to destroy the Maestro camera. Excellent use of the utility, but no! Neptune's going for that last second Goyo shield inside of the vault door, perfectly placed as it. Creators just was not ready for the frag. Neptune takes the head off Creators, and it's a complete frag fest here for the Susquehanna Sonics, leaving it all up to Crazy to try to clutch it out in a 1v4, but Sleben won't even let him enter in through the study window. That's a quick round there for the Sonics, and already putting one up onto the board, looking very strong here to start things off.
Even if Neptune's lost that fight, I'm sure that what would have ended up happening is Super would have shot the shield immediately and just nullified the push directly to at least bide himself some time to reposition. I just want to see if Goyo is used more and more throughout this game. Obviously, losing both of your soft destructors right at the beginning of the round makes Goyo that much stronger. It's going to be interesting to see how the game evolves to the point, because it used to be soft destructors were the ones that just were the pushers. They were the fraggers. Now the utility has a lot more emphasis with Goyo on the board. So it's just going to be interesting how the game evolves. You know, I'm excited to see how Goyo affects the meta in terms of operator selection and who actually turns into a fragger in terms of like operators. Because now if you need the grenades or you need the Zofia charges or something for a specific purpose as opposed to just getting kills, now that utility isn't as, you know, expendable as it was before, you know?
Definitely agree with you there, Rams. As it's hard to not agree with you. You know, you're just so smart, and you're just the perfect analyzer. All right.
I don't like to think I'm perfect, but hopefully one day I will be.
No, I mean it's impossible to be perfect. You know, there's always gonna be some sort of flaw. I hate to break that to you.
I didn't know that. Damn, that really shut me
Yeah,
down.
I hate to shut down your aspirations and dreams, but it's impossible. Okay, so you might as well just give up on that now. One interesting thing that I would like to note here is the fact that we're seeing Butters on a sledge roll. Normally you'll see him on that Zofia, and you'll see Dream playing the Buck. It's curious to me. Well, I mean, I guess the Buck is banned, so that makes sense why, like, that Dream can't go Buck. But why is it that they're? I don't know. It's just weird that they're switching up these operators the way that they are, and obviously they have some sort of reasoning behind that. Something that obviously I'm not going to be able to tell just by observing the match. Definitely something that would have to be dived into at a later date. But just something to note as we make our way into the second round here, and already some ground being taken over by Crazy. My apologies. As he's gonna be watching this rotate in through the vaults, as it looks like they've actually already cleared out this entire south side of the map pretty fast here. Not really any pushback from the Sonics, as it looked like they wanted to hold this, but pretty much gave up on it. They put so much utility into that south side that it's fascinating that they decided to give it up that easily.
Well, when it comes to a push like this, the Sonics have read into it, and they're going to positions from far back. Obviously, if one of the attackers rotates over to Master side to apply that extra bit of pressure, which is, I believe, what Crazy's doing at the moment. Goddess actually can see this player, but not quite through the bomb. Dream is taken out by Super with a peek from the statue doorway into the airlock area. Super with another onto Filthy, but now Butters takes down Goddess. Maestro off the board, Thatcher and Zofia gone. Neptune's is going to take down Crazy, and then I can't tell the other one because it's a little pixelated. Neptune's with another onto Creators, excuse me. So now Butters in a 1v4 scenario. The wall is going to get opened up in front of him. Butters wins the fight onto Super, but now reveals his location to the defenders. Butters could push in, but does he know there's a defender to his left? Almost goes for a pre-fire, but unfortunately, he was read out. And Sonics take the first, the first 2 rounds, right?
Yes.
First 2 rounds on Villa? Yeah. So, you know, very easy looking for the Sonics at the moment. Obviously, Tempo Storm have an idea, and they took map control quickly, but once that kind of stuff is read into with no pressure being applied from the opposite side of the map, it's very easy for the defenders to rotate and to know which angles they need to hold from that point moving forward. There's no walls to open up into the site. It's just 2 doorways. More pressure needed to be applied from other locations, and it just was not possible at the moment. So, Tempo Storm, obviously feeling a little rough at the start of this map. But like we said before, Villa defense is favored. So it's not surprising to see the defense go up 4 or 5 rounds in a row on defense when it comes to Villa. And now more Goyo shields going to be placed by Goddess. I'm certain in specific locations that are important for the attackers to take control of. I wouldn't see, you know, I don't think we're going to see any defenders dying to their own shields, because if they do, there's a problem.
Yeah, that's definitely not good. But I mean, see, it could be easy to die to the shield only if it's given away, like only if you're sitting too close to it and like a Zofia charge just comes flying out of nowhere, you know. That's the only like excuse I could see for dying to a Goyo shield. As I mean, like you've said so many times before, Goyo shields aren't really to play behind. They're really just to deny entry. You pop them off whenever an attacker gets a little bit too close for comfort, and you pop it just to knock them back a little bit and delay a little bit more time. You see Goddess placing these shields inside of doorways and just choke points. That way, it acts just like a smoke canister, except you can't really you can't throw them wherever you want. You place them down and they sit there for the rest of the round.
Exactly. Like, it's frustrating to see, like, a lot of times in non-competitive play, especially ranked, even at the highest levels, people play behind the Goyo shields and then they get blown up and they die, and it's just like, great. Like, if if I'm a defender and my teammate dies behind a Goyo shield, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you playing behind a Goyo shield? Like, just leave it there and shoot it from far back. Like, there's really no point in playing up close on it. It's easy. It's kind of like the defensive version of a Maru. Like, you joke around and say like, oh, you pick a Maru because you want to throw. You just want to swing it through a window and die. It's like, you know, a lot of times like people want to play behind the Go shield. It's like, okay, you're throwing, great. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to us?
I feel like Rams, you're the type of guy that just gets super triggered in ranked. Just because
type of guy to what? You cut out for a second.
The type of guy that just gets super triggered in ranked. You know, you're just like this superstar. You're just a superstar caster and analyst that, like, whenever someone does something stupid, you're like, yo, why don't you know how to do this, bro? Like, are you serious?
Right. Yeah, I hate to say it, but sometimes I do get tilted. But back to the game more than anything else.
Yeah, of course.
Not too much going on for the attackers. They seem to have sort of stalled out with this push. They are opening the wall, as is, you know, typical for the attackers. Some pre-fires coming out from Filthy towards the doorway, as Creators is going to spot out Super playing on the mute, who has been reduced to a very low amount of health. They need to pick him off to even up the man count. No C4 left in Super's hand, so he's pretty much done and used all the utility he has. He's just going to be trying to stay alive for as long as possible, not to delay. Obviously, I like this angle from Goddess playing inside of the what's this room called? Memorial room, excuse me. Playing from inside of the memorial room, that angle towards the wall is going to be a big deal. So once C4 does get thrown out, but the player has rotated back through the doorway and could pick off Goddess from this angle if she's not careful. Are any of the other defenders in a position to help this? Once C4 does get thrown out, he almost takes down Creators, but actually he moves through the doorway just in time, only to walk into Goddess's crosshairs. Slevin does take down Crazy, and now it's all up to Dream in a 1v5 scenario. This is Dream and a Dream right now, and he's not able to get it taken down. That's a flawless round from the Soniqs. The defense proven to be their strongest side, obviously.
That's 3 straight defenses and a flawless first rotation from the Soniqs. For those of you that don't know what a rotation is, it's just you're able to win your first 3 defenses and making that complete cycle. Able to go back to that first site that you chose. So we'll be that Aviator in games room, as not really wanting to go to the library and dining, or what is it called? Library? I don't even know. I just know that one of them is library.
Library living room.
Yeah, library living room. Not a site that has had a lot of effect in the past, and it just doesn't seem like a lot of teams really vibe with that site, you know? Like, a lot of teams just don't, I don't know what it is. Maybe teams it's just not viable, or teams just haven't had enough time with it. I'm not sure which it is, but either way, teams are just not comfortable with that site.
Yeah, they're not, and it's honestly because it's literally in the middle of the entire map. The attackers can formulate and coordinate attacks from multiple angles, just locking you into that area, and if they bring at least one hard breach, you're going to be forced into positions that you really don't want to play as a defender. But with the implementation of Goyo, this is, I know I'm going to keep talking about this the entire night probably, in terms of, like, you know, Goyo coming into the meta. This is pretty much like the first sneak peek of, like, what Pro League and other high competitive matches are going to be like with Goyo on the board, because like now people used to ban Ash and like ban other operators that you wouldn't normally see banned just to target certain players on certain teams. But now getting rid of those operators strengthens Goyo significantly, and we're seeing how it's formulated here, at least by the Sonics so far. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we did see Goyo banned on certain maps, but I don't think we'll see him banned a lot. It's more likely gonna be that Echo is more annoying to deal with. Mira will always be annoying to deal with just because of the way that Mira functions. I'm just really happy that Sonics are implementing Goyo into their strats. Slebin now with one onto Dream. Once again, the exact same thing we saw before. This entry into the master closet area is just not working out for Tempo. They need to apply pressure from another location in order to, deny Slebin the ability to just funnel the attackers through doorways. And he's utilizing the pest launcher. Oh, almost a nice pre-fire from him, but he gets taken out instead by Butters to shut him down and take control of Astronomy. Already, this is looking better for Tempo than it was before. However, like I was saying, the Mozzie can be so annoying when his pests are placed just in areas to waste time. Now, attackers are rotating around towards 90. The diffuser being rotated around as well, which is interesting, but the full up top red stairs control has been established. Crazy on top of the window, and now one of the walls getting opened up in the hallway, most likely by the Hibana charge, in order to get a line of sight behind the bar as they rotate their way over to study. Neptune's going to be watching that like a hawk, however, and has 2 impact grenades to stop any Hibana charges placed on the vault wall. So this is good utility placement. Super playing behind the bar as Maestro and Jaeger keep control of the main stairs and study. So we're going to see exactly where the attack wants to come from. The study door has been opened up, but do they know that Jaeger and Goddess are playing in this position? Obviously, some Hibana charges are shot off the wall to reveal that there is someone playing in that position. Creator's now just going to be waiting, holding the angle, looking for a peek towards Goddess, but to no avail. She's not going to peek. She's just going to wait patiently for him to push in. If the attackers need to start coming up main stairs, which is exactly what we see Filthy doing, and Filthy's going to take down Goddess. Can Filthy get some footprints to establish Jaeger's location? Does he know Jaeger's location? Yes, he does, off the call out from his teammate. He's going to win that fight now in a 2v3 scenario. They're gonna have to start destroying the Goyo shields and wasting time. Neptune's with 1 kill onto Butters. Super trying to get another shot through that same wall, as Neptune's is gonna be playing that wall exactly in the right position. Takes a ton of damage from the study doorway being played by Filthy. Crazy needs to move in and go for a plant, but it's actually Filthy the one with the diffuser. That's a huge problem. Smoke canisters need to be thrown in to cover just a little bit, as Super is actually rotating all the way through 90. He's going to come up right up behind them. Super with the double kill to finish it off. And Sonics are just looking too strong on Villa so far. Great rotation by by Super at just the right moment to deny the plant.
Excellent rotation by Super to clean up that round for his team. Just not letting that plant come through. A lack of intel there, or just lack of wherewithal for the attack. I'm sorry, I got confused. You're still like I guess you're still quiet for some reason. Oreos, can you either confirm or deny this? Cause I don't know if you're listening to the stream or not, but either way, I'm not sure what's happening with you or.
Can you hear me okay?
I'm the one that's quiet.
Oh no. Say it ain't so.
There's no way I'm quiet. I'm looking at my voice right now. I'm pretty loud. And I'm like screaming into my mic. I feel like I'm too loud. I don't know. This is Razors. Just tell us which one of us is quiet, because obviously I don't want it to be quiet for you guys. That'd just be bad.
It'd be annoying.
Yeah. It's got to be really annoying. I definitely don't want either of us to sound like we're whispering. Just be like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, this is gonna be the next round here. We got Coffee here, and looks like he's going towards yellow, or he's going to red. He might go over. No, that's just got to be annoying. But no, either way here, round number 5. Yet to see any of these rounds go in favor of Tempo Storm, which is definitely a problem. I mean, this is a defensive-sided map. Generally, I mean, we did see that go kind of the contrary last time with the Senshi match and the Sonics. So this is more of a Villa match that I'm used to casting, So definitely. Oh, there it is! There it is! Coffee died to it. Oh my god!
He did exactly what you're not supposed to. How crazy is?
How crazy was that, man? I mean, am I right? No, that was bad. That was bad. Either way, though, that's the exact play that you've been harping on this entire day. So.
Yeah, that's what you're not supposed to do. Just leave the shield there, like you don't want to play behind it. Unfortunately, now for Super, he's been taken out by Creators. And the first attacking round that's actually like anything for Tempo Storm. However, Goddess trades one back. Goddess with another. She's shutting it all down, but she gets traded out. Neptune, and now Dream inside of sight, very, very low health with Creators. Who does either of them have the diffuser is the real question at the moment, and Dream is going to take down Neptunes to finish it off. Wow. That was a much faster round than we anticipated, but obviously some glaring mistakes by the Soniqs were taken advantage of by Tempo.
That was I've been waiting for that to happen, you know, ever since you're like, Goyo shields are not supposed to be played behind. You've said it like I don't know how many times today.
Just don't play behind them. Like that shield would have been better if it was just him. If he's gonna play behind it, he needs to be playing behind it from further back to where he just can't get blown up by the shield. You know what I mean? Like, just put it further up in the doorway, facing the same direction, and you're straight. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I'm just watching. Obviously, the players are in the game, and they said no more Goyo, not after that. No, not today. we're not going through that again.
No, the Goyo is not the move whatsoever. So we'll be seeing that the Legion, I guess instead, Super is gonna flex onto that role. Are going to be seeing the Lion actually for the first time today, so that's interesting that we're going to see Butters on that and not on one of his fragging roles. Butters having quite a quiet day today. It's definitely unlike Butters. Butters is an excellent player and a very heavy fragger. Oh no! Oh, Slebin looking. He didn't want to waste the pest. You know, it's actually like a 200 IQ play to not waste your pests on drones in the prep phase. You know, take those out and save them for denying the later drones that are going to be coming through. Because if you can deny drone work later in the round, that's going to be more beneficial for your team as a whole. Because you're going to deny even more intel than you would have. Sometimes it's more important to deny intel than gain intel for your team.
Right, exactly. That's a great point. Oh, it's Butters with a kill onto Super. Where was that from? Butters, where are you? Oh, okay. He just got it through the doorway towards Master. That's nice. That's good.
Good night,
That's
Super.
Good. Creators making his way into the bathroom now. A Lion charge is going to be expended. The E1D holding the defenders in place as Creators has moved his way into a nice little angle with the bathroom. He's gonna take a double peek. Unfortunately, the C4 is gonna get thrown out. Oh, no, that's not a C4. Oh, you can't get rid of that. Come on, shoot it. There you go. Creators with grenade in hand could kill this defender. Nice, goes for a nice little crouch up peek. Slevin takes down Crazy. One grenade getting thrown down the staircase. Will get the kill. Another one getting thrown in towards Astronomy. Is it gonna get the kill? Creators with another double on the round. Big plays coming out for him. As now full control is being taken. Oh my gosh, Goddess, where were you looking?
Oh, Creators!
Okay, coming in huge for his team. No intel on what the attackers were doing there. My goodness, Creators, way to step up. This is what I like to see. This is why Creators is one of my favorite players on Tempo. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely a definitely the right time to win your first 2 rounds on attack, the last 2, because that's going to give you that momentum right into the second half of this match, where we will see them go on to the more favored side defense, and it looks like they are going to be going to that Aviator and Games Room defense. That seems like it's the primary defense, at least for most teams. You'll see more often than not, you'll see teams go to that site first over anything.
Yeah, Crazy not having such a good day so far. 0-6 for this map.
The double donut
unfortunate for him. Yeah, it's unfortunate at the moment. However, I wanted to highlight the way that Mozzie has been utilized throughout this entire map, and it's been utilized to great effect by the Soniqs. We'll see if the Tempo can keep up with that. Because Mozzie, once you figure out how to use his pests, he is, very, very effective at denying intel. And like you said, destroying the drones in the prep phase and saving the pests for later intel denial is definitely the play. you definitely do not want to waste the pests during the prep phase. You want to wait until the end of the prep phase, shoot as many drones as you can, 2 to 3, you know, if possible. And then you place those pests in doorways that you know the attackers have to drone through. We saw earlier in this game pests being placed on like the study doorway, and then the doorway coming towards the main stairs, and then the doorway into games from study. All 3 of those pests have to be removed in order to gain intel. And we saw Thatchers being wasted to get rid of them. Those were Thatchers that needed to be utilized, you know, towards the objective, which is, you know, where Thatcher shines. But, you know, forcing the attackers to utilize utility just to get rid of a pest, you might think like, oh my gosh, like, what a waste, but it has to be done because your life is more important than the utility at the end of the day. But it still puts the attackers in an awkward position. Right now, Dream playing downstairs in the living room, trying to deny any map control for the attackers. Slevin playing in a far back angle, just making sure no defenders rotate through this windowed area into the hallway. As now Filthy is just looking around. He could walk into it, but no, Slevin has fallen off the angle and is now going to be droning from another location to figure out exactly where he wants to entry through.
Oh,
Creators
what the?
takes down Super now as with a jump out towards the main door. Very ballsy on his part. Filthy with another onto Slevin as Slevin tries to come in for the refrag. But this is looking pretty good so far for Tempo on this defense. Gomfi now coming up, trying to go for a refrag as well, gaining a little bit of map control. Still 2 logic bombs in hand and 2 grenades. Looking towards the bottom of the red hallway. That drone is actually placed in a very nice spot. You see it above there near the painting.
Yeah.
It keeps like sees full control of the hallway. I like that. That's good. Dream and Creators downstairs now could walk right into those sites, but
What
instead,
are they doing?
Dream is gonna come out on top of that one. The single fire rifle from Dokkaebi, not the weapon of choice, as Neptune's now just gonna be holding the flank as Goddess most likely just tries to get the wall open. This seems to be the common end of round situation for Soniqs. We saw this a lot. But and Neptunes and Goddess are able to frag out, and they are able to get, you know, some frags at the end of the day, but they become impact. They become, you know, sort of useless frags once it gets to this point. Yeah, they're not impact
Not
frags.
impactful, yeah. Impactless. Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like this round has kind of been just the definition of a Maestro and Mozzie duo roam, which is not like it's weird to say. Like, you're not used to a Maestro being on the roam. I mean, it makes sense why he would be a roamer as he has so much ammo. Oh, good night, Goddess. No, actually, good night, Filthy, as that's a nice shot there from Neptunes. He was on low HP. I thought it was a headshot, so not as impressive as I originally thought. That shot will be a little bit nicer, though, as Betters gets his head ripped off. Neptune's in a 1v3 now. Looks like he could possibly clutch this out. He does have the AR-33, so he has the fire rate in order to do so. But does he have the damage? As he's got 30 seconds left, it looks like he's got at least a general idea of where these last defenders are. He knows that one's close to this aviator door, but does he know where the last couple are? Goes for a few pre-fires, but he may even end up dying to this bandit battery. With only 15 seconds left, it'll be finally cleaned up by Tempo Storm, as they'll pick up their 3rd round in a row, really carrying this momentum through from the last 2 rounds in the first half. So, God, looking like it's going to be... I don't know.
Go to overtime again. I think it's gonna go to overtime again.
I think so too. I think that
with the intel that Tempo have on Soniqs and the way that they try to take map control, you saw Creators, Filthy, and Dream all in position to counter specifically the downstairs control that Soniqs like to establish early. So Soniqs are gonna have to figure out something a little different. They're gonna have to either drone a little bit more thoroughly and commit more of their players to actually taking map control as opposed to just leaving it up to, like, you know, quote unquote the entries. Or they're just going to have to attack the site more directly and watch their flank. So since they're not taking a Nomad or a Gridlock, I would assume that they're just going to try to take more map control. Obviously, super switching from the IQ onto the Capital gives me the impression that they're going to utilize those Capital bolts to try to open up the wall. We're just going to have to see how it plays out. The Tempo is playing very well right now on defense, even though it's only been 1 round for the defense, but this is a defender-sided map, and I can imagine that we're going to see, you know, some very one-sided defensive rounds, at least until the Soniqs can gain some kind of footing, or Tempo just shut them down completely and end up taking the map on this defensive half.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be, as I pull up my interesting cinnamon list, amusing to see how the rest of these defenses go for Tempo Stormers. Like you said, this is a defensive-sided map, so we expect Tempo Storm to take the advantage here, but Are the Soniqs going to be able to pull a few rounds out of the hat here? As they definitely have the ability to win some rounds here on attack. We saw them do it last map against, or last matchup against Senshi. Not really matching up too well there, but Slevin makes his entry quickly in through the main stairs. It looks like he had some intel on where this Jaeger was possibly. Or maybe even the alibi. Some footprints are going to get charted to tracked out. But, ooh, Filthy.
Oh.
Again, this Slevin has been the first pick in over half of the rounds, I feel like. And it just seems like he's too big of an operator to be going down that fast. I mean, he only uses one track and not even the full effect of it. You lose your 2 smoke canisters, and I get it. We're going to be seeing the Capital actually for the first time, I believe. I don't think we've seen Capital get played at all, even though he's been left unbanned. So that's definitely intriguing, to say the least. So going to be interesting to see how Super chooses to use those firebolts, as I'm going to be making this against Southside Attack, which is a very weird attack, to say the least. Like we said last time, normally you'll see the master take, but the Soniqs liking the Southside take for whatever reason.
Well, one thing's for sure about, you know, the south side take you're talking about is if you take control of the red stairs, which is what Soniqs have control of now, Filthy needs to be very, very careful as he progresses towards the top of this landing. I'm assuming that whoever's on the stairs knows that he's there, and he's just waiting, biding his time, looking for a laser, I'm guessing, or he just got spotted by a drone, is pushed, unfortunately. Terrible timing for Filthy. Great timing for Gomfi to play that there. And this is the kind of thing, like once you take this attack from this side, if you control the top of red stairs and you control 90, you're not getting flanked. And now, you know, it should be pretty straightforward engagements into the, you know, into the site itself. Goddess obviously taking down creators there, holding an angle outside of master window, waiting and stopping any defender rotations through the master bedroom itself, which is a big deal. And at the moment, things are looking really good for the Soniqs, even with Slevin's early demise. Creators and Filthy have both been taken out. There is still a lot of utility left. One Maestro camera getting taken out, a concussion grenade being utilized to gain intel. Gomfi will trade one back after Butters takes down Super. Goddess with another onto Dream, and now it's all up to Butters in a 1v3. The plant is going down, and it will successfully be placed. I'm pretty sure the wall has been opened up to Butters' left. He's going to push up behind the shield as he knows where the diffuser has been placed. Doesn't seem like the wall has been opened up at the moment, and it's a very, very hard angle. Oh, the wall had been opened up ever so slightly by Goddess, just in the perfect position to try to cover that rotation. So, you know, very well placed by her. It's really difficult to challenge that because unless you're far back, you're not going to be able to see through it. So, Soniqs make an attacking round go in their favor, and that's kind of, you know, that's a big deal early in the defensive side for Tempo. They can't afford to give up early rounds without at least tying it up first.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird round for Tempo Storm. Not really gaining much traction after taking the early pick onto Slevin on that Jackal. Going to be going back to the trophy and statuary room, but this time they're going to be putting Butters onto a Mira, which is an interesting operator to be putting him on. Normally you'll see him on more of a fragging role, but the fact that, I don't know, I guess the fact that he hasn't been playing as well as he normally would today, I think that making a few of these adjustments is definitely well called for by Tempo Storm. So, I mean, Butters is Butters, so he can pretty much frag out on any operator, I would think. So, just give him the man a gun and he'll frag out. But either way here, it looks like we're going to be seeing a more elaborate study hold as Butters is going to be placing a few of these mirror windows. I imagine one might be going facing towards the master bedroom to try to deny Goddess from entering in through here. That just seems like the push for this map, you know. We'll see all of the Soniqs pushing in through study, and it'll be Goddess all on her lonesome inside of Master, just applying pressure, you know? Like if you have somebody applying pressure for Master, that just limits the amount of angles that are going to be able to be held by the defense. They can't really play in here. So you're going to be seeing creators trying to hold on to the Master Closet with a few ADSs and Castle Barricades. As I mean, they're aware that this pressure is very minimal on the side of Master. So they don't really need to place too much attention over here, as we might even actually see a full switch up. It looks like the Soniqs are going to be choosing to go right through laundry this time. It's very unusual that they're going to be doing this this separate attack, but we're just going to have to see how it turns out for them.
Well, obviously, with the Mira being placed inside a study, they realize like, okay, they're establishing a lot of utility study side. We don't want to push through there. You know, we don't want to risk any of our lives trying to peek Mira windows head on. So they have to change up their attack. I really like the distribution of utility being placed by Tempo right now, mainly because I love that. Did you see the rotation on the master wall? They put a castle barricade at the window so they can rotate in and out. They have a Mira facing the window, knowing if any attackers come into that room. And this forces the attack to actually have to come from below and try to displace these Mira windows, but they still have to take control of the top of red at the same time, which is, you know, that progress is halted significantly by the Mira in study and Crazy playing on that side of the map. So I'm really liking this setup from Tempo. Sleben, however, with the first pickoff onto Crazy, not quite sure where he was, and now Filthy's going to come up behind Sleben and take him down. So it's a nice trade. Jackal off the board, Castle not that big of a deal. Filthy going for another one, and it looks like Creators and Filthy coming up with 4 kills on their own. Creators getting traded out by Neptunes, and now Super playing on the Astronomy window is going to have to rotate off and go help out Neptunes wherever he may be. Potentially actually going back up onto the window, actually just going to be droning it out now, as Neptunes is stuck between a rock and a hard place with the diffuser in hand with less than 50 seconds to go. Not really too many options for him. Is going to jump in through the bathroom, just wanting to, you know, try to gain a little bit more control and gain intel just to at least maybe try to even up the man count. But this position being played by Dream at the moment, I'm really liking it. This is some next level adaptation
I love it.
from the defenders. This is something that we typically do not see. The mirror window now being opened up with the alibi there. There's so many different aspects to this defense that makes it great. It's hard to pinpoint all of them in just one viewing of it. But with 20 seconds to go, it's not looking good for Soniqs, and it seems like Tempo has this round in the bag, but do they know that Super is going to be coming up this red staircase? The barbed wire will give his position away as soon as he tries to come up it. Filthy knows exactly where he is going to take him down. Not really too much Super can do. He has to push. However, Neptunes will find one onto Dream. He is inside Master now, looking back towards Filthy. Is going to win that one out. And Neptunes now could actually win the round out for his team. Sees him laying on the ground, but no, not enough time to finish him off. Very, very close at the end of the day for Soniqs. Great pickup and great plays by Neptunes there, but Butters, plays it patiently, pretty much had it in the bag the whole time, but a great defensive round for Tempo, showing exactly how creative they can be on defense when it comes to this map.
I think you said it perfectly. I think that setup for that site was insane. I didn't even notice that there was a shield in front of the mirror window. So not only do you have to be weary of being peeked by the mirror, but there's also a shield that you can be peeked from as well. And those castle barricades, like you said, were perfect in order to cover that rotate hole on the right side of that master wall. And
then the mirror inside a study, pretty much helps you lock down red stairs. You're able to free throw, like, oh my gosh, I'm throwing it all away now. I had such a great point, and now I'm all ruining it with my, flub ups of speech. There's so much fluidity to the map once those mirror windows are placed in positions like that, and it really throws the attack for a loop, because you have to figure out, like, how am I challenge these guys? I can't just take control of 90 and try to push through the 90 hallway. That doesn't make any sense. Like, and then, Filthy on the roam as well. Like, there's just so much to that attack, and that's why you see Mira banned a lot on maps like this. So, it's kind of, interesting to see, and now we're going to see whether or not Tempo Storm can place these shields in positions not to get blown up from. Butters, don't play behind that shield, run away. Thank you.
We're going to have a repeat of what happened to, I think it was Sleben in the previous half, because he got just blown up by the Goyo shield. But round numero 10, I think that's how you say 10. I apologize for you. It is okay.
Your Spanish is impeccable.
I've been working on it, man, just to try to impress you guys. But no, thank you. And that's gonna be it for me. All right, I'm gonna end on a high note there. I got one word right. Oh no. Oh, Crazy. What are you doing, bro? Oh no. He's gonna die to this. If he keeps playing here, there's gonna be an impact grenade that comes flying through, and he's gonna get blown up any second.
He's gonna get impacted from below. I guarantee you, he gets impacted from below and dies to the shield.
Where's Zofia? Where's Zofia, Oreo? Where is she?
Zophia's down by the front door. I guarantee it somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
no,
near the front door,
she
kind of
is.
for that entry into living room, but it's being contested right now by the defenders. So obviously they want to take Crazy out of this position. That Goyo shield is a prime target to eliminate. Crazy has been removed from it. Slevin with the 1 kill onto Dream. The push from Neptunes is silenced by Creators. Now the shield is shot to deny any refrag potential. That's how you play off of the Goyo shield. 101.
That's not only Neptune's off the board, but the Thatcher as well. As it looks like Filthy's actually getting tracked downstairs inside of this red hallway. Not in a very good spot as he'll finally get the last scan. He could even come flying around this corner. What are you doing, Zofia? Gomfi is going to get taken by surprise. He had the tracks onto the Jaeger, just not able to capitalize. It's going to be Slevin trying to see if he can't get the pick onto this Jaeger. Not aware that he is inside of Art. This could be the perfect peek from the Jaeger. Yes, another kill for the roamer of Filthy as he's just tearing this attack apart. All left up to Super and Goddess, the Thermite Nomad combo. With they still have a minute left, so plenty of time to win out this round as... Oh, here comes the Nomad. Goddess finds one, but it's Filthy with a third. Butters and Goddess will trade, and that's going to be round number 10, tying things up here for Tempo Storm. You look, Butters was ready to shoot out that shield to try to blow up Goddess.
Absolutely. Yep. Good round from Tempo once again. Filthy proving to be very powerful on the roam. I'm very curious as to who was playing Zofia. Was it Gomfi?
Yes.
There's no way he didn't know that Jaeger was in the area.
Yeah, for real.
Right? Like the Jackal tracks are going off. He definitely didn't rotate up the main stairs when the ping went off because Gomfi was literally at the bottom of the stairs when the ping went off in the hallway. They're covering the hallway. So like obviously Jaeger has not rotated up the main stairs. He has to be in piano or the art room. So I mean like that's just a huge miscommunication on the side of Soniqs in that way. Filthy should have been a dead man, but ends up coming out on top with some great positioning and gun skill to top it all off.
Great gun skill indeed by Filthy, and Filthy is indeed filthy. I mean, I know it's kind of like, oh, you're good one, Danny. You can read, but I mean, it's true, you know. Like he's a very dirty player, you know. He's got a nasty shot, and all these people on Tempo Storm have some nasty shots. So there's no reason, there's no wonder why they are in Pro League, and why they've been so successful here. I mean, not as successful as I think a lot of teams would have thought at USN, which was a disappointment to say the least. But ultimately, I think that they're going to be able to figure some of this stuff out as they're still a very new team, you know? Like, they just made it into PL. They qualified for CL not just the season before. And, I mean, they're coming up in the world. So, expect some big things from Tempo Storm.
Yeah. Definitely Tempo Storm did have a good showing at USN, and I think a lot of their gun skill is really what kept them in the game versus Soniqs. Obviously, I don't think anybody ever really anticipated that that Tempo Storm were going to, like, you know, even if they were able to beat Soniqs, which was a very close affair, they were not beating SSG. Like, and that's no disrespect to, you know, to Tempo. They're all great guys. I enjoyed like hanging out with them at USN, but you know they even know like as a new team they probably stood no chance at beating SSG in the round after, even if they would have beaten Soniqs. So they just have to kind of take it on the chin and move forward because there's a lot of potential for this team to get better. And as we can see from like the defensive holds they've set up on this map, whether they're directly made to counter Soniqs or not, they're direct counters to the way that the meta has progressed on Villa since it's been more established.
Ooh.
Creators with a nice C4 onto Slevin, Jackal off the board once again. Slevin once again, like I said before, the first frag. Gomfi holding this angle now, waiting for any rotating defenders to come back. Yeah, like you said. Sorry.
Take my Storm.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty good so far for Tempo. Filthy just playing very patiently at the top of red stairs, utilizing the ERC7 on Vigil to stay hidden from as many drones as possible for as long as possible. And he's going to be a continuous thorn in the side of the attackers unless Super can pinpoint his direct location with his IQ gadget sensor.
Yeah, if Filthy just taking advantage of those rat corners, if you will. Ooh, Neptune's not taking his due diligence to check for the ADS, is going to lose one of those Nomad charges to the Jaeger utility. As there's only a minute left and at a man disadvantage, this isn't really looking too strong for the attack. It looks like they are aware that Filthy might be playing on these red stairs, as the IQ is going to try to walk up right behind him. Super on this flank is... That's going to be a pickup there for the Soniqs. Filthy just barely escaping the IQ. That's going to be 2 kills there for Tempo Storm, as Super's just unaware where this vigil went. He was hot on his tail and then just completely lost him. And as a result, he allowed one of his teammates to die. He does look like he has the play, though, here. The vigil not aware of his location, but no! Filthy, again with the nasty shot, is going to take down Super, leaving it in a 1v5. Or 1v4 there for Gomfy. He will make it a 1v3 as he falls down through the laundry hatch, but he's gonna have to find 3 crossfires here. So it doesn't even look like he's able to enter in through this hole, lagging all that much more on about 1 HP. This is going to be a TK there for Dream as he was trying to secure the frag, but to no avail. That will be a Tempo Storm round, taking match point now, 6-5.
Yeah, judging by the way that Gomfy pushed through that hole in the wall there, he obviously rubber banded backwards through it. From the spectator side, it looks like he just shot the wall, but from his point of view, he probably came through the rotation and was peeking around the corner towards Creators, who I believe was playing Pulse. So it's unfortunate for him. You know, sometimes those things happen. Creators and Filthy right now leading their team on the scoreboard. And Neptunes and Goddess on the other side doing pretty well. Goddess has had a good performance these last 2 maps. I think she's had double digits both maps, if I'm not mistaken. So things looking good on the side of Tempo Storm. Soniqs don't really have an answer to the roam game coming out from Tempo. They just seem to be chasing Filthy all over the map and not really catching him anywhere. Obviously, Super was, like you said, hot on his trail before. Couldn't quite catch up with him as he was trying to keep his position unknown. Unfortunately for him, when he did push through, Filthy was able to win the heads-up engagement. And I really liked the hole that Filthy was playing there to watch towards the laundry door. I don't know if you noticed like the angle that Filthy was holding, but I'm pretty sure he had downed the diffuser in that room. And obviously it was a nice little pickup. Oh, nice shot through the barricade to get rid of that drone. That was important.
Creators
more drones
getting
taken out. Yeah. Creators taking out more and more drones. These are big issues for the attack. They're not going to have a lot of intel trying to find these drones, and maybe this is why they've had such a problem with the roam game coming out from Tempo. They've just been unable to actually, pinpoint their locations due to their drones getting shot early. It's possible. I'm liking this sort of extended roam coming out from Tempo. I don't know why they would deviate from their original strategy of bringing the Mira, but it looks like they just want to add a little bit more chaos into the picture here, as Creators gets 1 kill onto Slevin. Slevin once again the first person taken out, and Creators is going to rotate his way back now that he's expended his pre-play C4 at the study doorway and rotate back to site to play a more safe position.
Yeah, definitely the smart choice after getting yet again the first pick onto Slevin. I don't know how many times have we had to say that today. I feel like more times than not, Slevin has been the first pick of the round. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how. It's honestly impressive at this point that he's been the first pick every single round. But either way, it's going to be up to the rest of the Soniqs to win out this round for their team and try to force overtime in order to prevent a map number 3 here from Tempo Storm, as we've got about a half of the rounds left remaining and still a lot of utility here on the defense in order to deal for the attack to deal with, as some of the Hibana pellets are going to start to come out onto that main master wall. That's going to be up to Goddess to try to hold this angle yet again, not going for that same mirror strat and castle strat inside a master, which is curious. It's intriguing to say the least, as it worked so well the last time. I'm not sure why they wouldn't go back to it, but either way, it's going to be a straight on trophy push. Some of the nomads are going to get set off onto the rotates in through that connector hallway. The plants are going to start to come down here by Neptunes with about a minute left. It's going to be Goddess to try to cover in through Master. Crazy has been downed as well, so it's essentially a 3v4 here for the attack as the plant has gone down, but a nice flank up. Red Stairs is going to send Filthy flying as he gets the air jab, but what are you doing, Neptunes? You give away that kill. Butters finds one for himself as all Goddess inside a Master to try to stave off match point, and it looks like she's been finished off, so it's going to be Filthy to pick up the defuse. Good half in chat. We're going to be seeing map number 3 all tied up at 1 map apiece.
Wow, great retake there. Some, you know, misplays by the attack to throw away their lives. I don't know why Neptune said. And on to the topic of, you know, Sleben being the first one picked off on every single attack. We talk about like, you know, entry fraggers and how prolific they can be in a lot of scenarios. Your entry fraggers and your typical like secondary and your flex players in general are only going to be as good as the information provided to them by the support. I think that there was a breakdown in communication on the side of Soniqs during this entire map. Sleben constantly getting picked off early, not really getting
Like every map, so we're not going to be seeing a lot of hard destructors in play, but going to be seeing a lot of those fragging rules. So it's going to be very intriguing to see exactly how both of these teams choose to run it, as we are going to be seeing Tempo Storm start on attack, probably one of the more favored sides on this map.
Yep, it's all going to come down to the bans. I expect a Capital ban, but it's not for sure. Buck getting banned. Okay.
I was a little laggy there for a second. I was like,
Yeah, I was really laggy. I was like, what is happening? Are we going to see a Capital ban coming out? And can I be right? No, an Ash ban. Okay.
It's the same ban as last time. There was an Ash ban again.
Yeah,
these bans
same
are
bans
crazy.
as before. Now what the defensive bans? I have no idea now, like, based on what these bans are. Valkyrie, that makes sense. On Coastline.
Yeah, definitely a lot of intel. I assume we're going to be seeing an Echo ban, and we're not going to be seeing IQ be brought at all for the remainder of this match. I mean, there's not really a need to bring an IQ if... No, the mirror, though. So we're actually going to be seeing Echo in play for this matchup. So that should be a curious decision by both of these teams.
It just depends on whether or not either team really likes to play Echo. I don't think we've really seen a lot of Echo play out of Soniqs. And if we have seen like any Echo play, it's been with Maestro and Echo together. Obviously, Maestro is the more favored pick for most teams, but we are seeing Lion being brought right away by Tempo, unless it's going to be a 6th pick just to try to scare Soniqs a little bit into a different playstyle. Twitch being brought, though, I like that. Castle being brought. I like that pick mainly because, you know, there's only a little bit of soft destruction on the board unless Twitch is going to bring breaching charges, so Castle Barricades could prove to be very effective for the defenders. Other than that, everything seems to look pretty standardized to me.
And I also, before we get right into things, I want to remind you all, !multi in chat. That'll bring you to all the other channels casting at least the NA qualifiers right now. I know that we have SSG versus, I believe SSG versus Rise Nation. I believe that game is still going on. I know that we have Ape, which is Obey, versus Luminosity over on Benial Gold, his channel. They are on a map number 3 as well. So a lot of close matchup, it seems, tonight. So definitely makes for some competitive gameplay, and hopefully you all are enjoying as we're going to be making our way now into map number 3 here. Again, Susquehanna Soniqs versus Tempo Storm. If you are just joining us, the first map going in favor of the Soniqs 8-6. Map number 2 on Villa going 7-5 in favor of Tempo Storm. So, how will this matchup go down right now? Leave it in the comments down below, you know? What do you guys think is going to happen?
Well, I hope personally for a lot of close matchups, especially in the invite qualifiers, because who wants to see one team just blow every team out of the water and then go to the invite and lose in the first round? Nobody wants to see that.
No.
You know? So, we're going to see how these two teams stack up against each other on Coastline. I'd imagine that, yep, there's going to be a breach charge being brought by Twitch to add that little bit of extra soft destruction, opening up the hookah double window, as now Dream is going to rotate his way back around, most likely to either open up the hatch. Yep, opening up the hatch to help support Filthy as he tries to watch the flank. No are there reinforcements in that wall? There's one reinforcement in that wall. Okay, so that's interesting. There could still be an attacker playing inside of VIP to cut off rotations in between the two sites. So right now, God is actually getting hit by some concussion mines in the hallway along with Super. I believe no gas canisters have been expended yet. One line is going to be utilized and more concussions going out. This is a very split attack right now coming out from Tempo as Creators picks up the first kill onto Super. That's smoke off the board. Very well played there. Creators looking like he wants to apply some pressure from the hookah balcony with his run out covered by the air jab itself. Gomfi's position is being attacked heavily at the moment as the E1D is revealing his location, looking for some pre-fires into the hallway. Unfortunately, is taken down, but not before getting the trade onto, I believe it was the Capitao of Creators upside down. Neptune's now in a 1v3 scenario. He picks up one. Can he pick up another? Yes, he will. Now it's a 1v1. Oh my gosh, Neptune's coming in huge for his team, clutching up a round that looked like it was impossible to win. Fantastic play by him with the drop shot there. My goodness.
Neptune's in chat, giving him the BM. Dream with the nice shot, and I mean that's just what the Alda can do. You know, there's a saying that if you're clutching up with the Alda, then you can't clip it. You know, it doesn't really count. Because I know that I've got an ace against some pro players. Some of them may or may not be in this lobby. AKA a Super and Gonfi, I think, or maybe Slevin was there too, but no, I'm joking. The Alda is definitely a very easy gun to clutch out any situation from. I mean, you've got so much ammo, you don't need to reload whatsoever as long as you start out with a full clip. But either way, an excellent clutch from Neptunes. There's nothing you can do to really take that away from him.
Yeah, no, he played it very well, whether it was his game sense or the intel he had via his teammates making callouts, switching back and forth between multiple entry points into the site, just having the exact weapon and position he needed to win it out. So well played by him, that's huge. I talked about Neptunes a lot at USN, and I think Veli brought him up quite a few times as well, that he is like one of the most underrated players on the Soniqs. Everybody wants to focus on Gomfi and Slevin in terms of their fragging potential, but Neptunes has huge clutch potential. We saw him clutch up another round on this exact same site last time versus Senshi. I thought he wasn't going to win that round either. It looked like their positioning was going to be too good, but you know, he comes out on top when you don't think he will, and that's the kind of player you want on your team. He's sort of like, you know, I like to put Creators in that same sort of like mold. You know what I mean? Like Creators is one of those players that like, for Tempo Storm specifically, where like he doesn't come up on the frags like all the time. Like he gets one or two, you know, here and there, but then sometimes he'll get like 4 and like, or like ace or something, or like clutch up a 1v3 and you're just like, damn, that guy's good. And that's kind of what, you know, happens with Neptunes as well. Right now the wall inside of the box is getting opened up, so this gives direct avenue of attack for Tempo into the site. They had to get rid of that mute jammer to activate those Hibana charges. Now one lion has been expended to keep Super in place and try to, you know, to help the attackers gain position as they move into the map. Super now trapped behind the bar, does have an ADS. Goddess is trying to hold his flank from behind. And it looks like Tempo Storm are kind of stalling out, trying to figure out exactly who they want to pinpoint to try to attack. Dream calling out the castle barricade on the hookah window, as none of the attackers seem like they're really inside the building yet. They're more just kind of posturing their position. Neptunes will pick up a kill onto Creators, and that is Capitao off the board. Execution now is no longer an option for Tempo, at least in terms of what utility they have at their disposal. Super biding his time, a grenade comes flying in and removes him from his position. This is the perfect opportunity to push in, but Slevin is there to trade it onto Crazy as he pushes in. Nice throw from Dream, as Goddess has retaken the position behind the red bar inside of Sunrise. Still, Tempo Storm kind of stalling out here. Filthy with one of Neptune's, Slevin back onto Filthy. So attackers and defenders trading out. Dream has no idea that Goddess is behind the bar, and that's a huge problem. Oh, he's actually going to figure it out now as he pushes back just a little bit, gaining some intel off of what Butters or some of his teammates are telling him, forcing him to rotate back around towards most likely what will be the kitchen window. Butters just holding the angle, waiting for any defenders to walk into his crosshairs. Not quite getting it yet, as I think they want to switch their attacking focus towards blue bar at the moment. It all depends on where Dream is going to go. Butters is going to have to watch over him as he tries to go for the plant, and it looks like Dream is pushing up through the kitchen, Butters pushing up through the hallway. knowing there's a player on Cool Vibe stairs. One of them is going to have to peek. However, Goddess is taken out by Butters. Now with a crazy crossfire coming from Slebin, who's going to pistol Butters down. Dream is going to have to go for some nice pre-fires and win the fight in 2 different directions. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Gomfi is taken down very, very low. Dream still with about half health. Could win this out potentially, but Gomfi is going to run away. Dream now looks like he's in sight, running around behind Sunrise, and Slebin's going to finish him off with the pistol. Well played by the 2 Europeans for Soniqs. Dream stuck between a rock and a hard place, tried to make it work and did his best and almost had it, but couldn't quite get it.
Couldn't quite get it indeed. An excellent round there from the Soniqs to put 2 up on the board. As we're going to be seeing them now try to complete this rotation and going down towards Kitchen. Not choosing to go to the Penthouse, which is a site that is not as favored in competitive play as it is possibly in ranked. I know that on Xbox, at least, that the Penthouse was a very popular site for a lot of more casual players, but in the competitive scene, it's just not viable, as you can pretty much cut off any rotation from an upside down rappel on the double window. So not very likely that we'll see anybody going for that, but Kitchen it is, just after the double bar, and a fairly similar lineup, bringing that Vigil this time around, as not really seeing much adaptation in the lineup. We're seeing Smoke yet again. It just seems like Super just rotates between Smoke and Mute, Smoke and Mute, Smoke and Mute, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes that's the kind of player you need on your team.
Oh yeah, of course.
We on other teams, when Super would play in the past, we'd see him play a lot of Pulse or Valkyrie. And I think that, you know, for this team coming in as more of an IGL, I think that he is picking the right ops for his team, and I think that he puts himself in a lot of positions that need to be played, and that's something that you kind of have to admire about a player regardless of their performance. If they're putting themselves on those difficult operators and they're still providing intel and playing those operators effectively enough to help their team win the round, they're doing something. It's not like just because you don't show up on the scoreboard all the time doesn't mean you're not doing anything for your team. You know what I mean? Like, Crazy hasn't been playing that well for like any of these maps, in my opinion. Like, at least not like well enough to I know like the style that he can play. He can frag out if he wants to, but he's playing a more reserved role for his team because he knows that that's what his team needs. Neptune's now, however, is going to be starting to get pressured from the VIP balcony. The hatch above him has been opened up inside of the bathroom, so the attackers are going to try to pinpoint his location and just try to take him down as quick as possible. Filthy wants to push into VIP, but has to be wary of any C4s from below. And there could be some hidden cameras. However, Creators does take down Neptunes, but takes a lot of damage in the process. Creators is going to have to relocate his position to outside of the objective, at least where the plant wants to go down. Slebin takes down Filthy now. Where is that location? Oh, it's definitely in the 90 hallway. Slebin can retreat back to 90 hallway whenever he feels like it. Is going to push up to the doorway and peek out towards the VIP balcony. Will end up retreating back into the courtyard, back down to site into the safety of Sunrise Bar. No defenders moving as the lion goes off, so Butters' position is solidified, but does he know that there's a player playing at the top of White Stairs? I think they rotated back downstairs, and now Butters in hot pursuit of Slebin, knowing that he has dropped back down and that he's back somewhere in the site, is going to be trying to hold the flank for his team. This is a 4v4 scenario at the moment, and with is that the last E1D?
It's gotta be.
I think he either has one more left, or that's definitely the last one. But defender's position's being called out, but a missed drone, however, is actually going to make it so that the defender playing inside of communications is no longer relevant. Some reconstruction above the site is being used to apply pressure to Super at the moment, who is very, very low health and could die to at least one bullet. And oh no, do we have a server crash? Or is it just Dream crashing?
It's got to be just Dream crashing. I'm not sure what happened. Yep, it looks like a disconnect from Dream is very unfortunate, as the round was looking fairly close with that vertical pressure. Not going to be having that to their advantage anymore as the pre-fires do come in. That's going to be the taken out as a double kill from Gomfi, but to push him from behind is going to be eventful for Butters, as he'll finally be taken off, as it's likely to see a rehost here for Tempo Storm, as they did lose Dream to a disconnect, as it's looking like we're going to be seeing a...
Okay, it's... Okay.
Is he back in the lobby?
I think he is. I can't tell.
It looks like he's in the lobby. He's gonna get a random operator though, so he's definitely gonna have to use that 6-pick. Yeah, it looks like he just got back, so he's gonna. I mean, he could stick the Ying if he wanted to. That would be an interesting operator, but no, he's gonna use that 6-pick and gonna go over to Sledge. So at least he was able to get back. You know, no rehost, less time wasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's 3 early rounds now for the Soniqs, and yet again, they're going to complete a full rotation. We saw this exact play. We saw them go up actually 4-0 on Villa, and then it was all tempo storm after that. They won the 2 rounds at the end of the half, and then they went on like a kill streak. You know, they won. Let me look back at my notes here. They won the 2 rounds at the end of the half. They won 3 rounds in a row, and then I don't have any more data for that. Actually, I kind of stopped taking notes for a little bit. I kind of got distracted, but it's kind of awkward. Either way, though,
Yeah.
Coastline. Likely, I don't. You see, again, we're seeing crazy on the Sabana. I think it was Senshi last time around that was choosing to bring a hard breacher, and I questioned it then because you won't normally see a hard destructor on Coastline because she's not necessary. You know, she's definitely helpful, but she's not absolutely necessary. So people just will choose not to bring her because they don't want to have to worry about having to save that hard destruction or having to worry about staying alive.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with bringing a hard breach on Coastline. There's really nothing wrong with it. There's really only a few places you can use it, and on a site like Hookah, I can only imagine that they're going to try to utilize open up the back of the Hookah wallway to displace Super's anchor location. However, we're just going to have to see exactly how the attack formulates here, because as of right now, it looks like a push back through VIP and into Theater, most likely with the objective to take control of 90 hallway. And then at that point, they can dictate their push based on the location of the defenders. Obviously, the Jackal is being brought to try to pinpoint some of the defender locations and try to halt the roaming presence that could be available to them. But there are no C4s the attackers have to worry about from below. Hopefully, with the amount of droning that they're doing, they will understand that so they don't waste any utility down below. Like I said, Filthy holding the angle onto the white staircase. Creators holding the 90 angle, as now the push will most likely formulate outside of Aqua. Hibana rotating her way all the way through will most likely try to open up the wall. As now Dream with a double nade. Where did he throw that from? My goodness, did he just? Where did he throw that from?
Right there, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure where he threw it. Maybe.
Where is he playing? Where is he?
I don't know, but he's dead now. Or no, he's not dead. No, it was Dream that got the kill.
Filthy's dead.
Filthy's dead.
Filthy and Slevin traded. Filthy and Slevin traded.
They traded without headshots. That was kind of interesting. You don't normally get to see that. As with about 1:15 left, it's going to be now a 2v4. Make that a 2v3. So, my bad, Neptunes. I didn't mean to rain on your parade like that. Make that a 2v3 with now a minute left in the round. And looking like this attack is going to start to unfold here towards the site. Neptunes has the potential to win this round out for his team. Make that Goddess as well. Both of them really playing it strong here. As the last remaining player will be Crazy inside of Aquarium. Is going to light up the Maestro just a little bit here as he's going to be on about 25 HP. Crazy going to choose to go for the rotate now as he's going to try to catch this defense off guard. Has 2 remaining defenders to try to find out, and if he does go unnoticed, this could be the play of the century. Does have somebody in behind the hookah bar. If he just looks to his left, he'll find one. Can he find a second? He gets the call out. Neptunes doesn't know exactly where the Hibana is. He pulls out the bailiff, and he'll take out the kill on the Crazy. That's 4 rounds in a row for the Soniqs. Looking like they're unstoppable here on Coastline. However, this is exactly how they started out the map of Villa, and it ended up being a complete kind of misshowing from the Soniqs, as it was Tempo Storm that came storming back. You see what I did there?
Oh. I just want to know where Dream threw that nade from. Was that just a typical nade through a drone somewhere that got a double, or did he actually throw it? You know, maybe he threw it from outside of
I don't know.
double window, like
I
to
think
the back
that could
of
have
the
been
bar.
possible, yeah.
It just depends on whether or not the ADSs were burned and where they were positioned, because that was a great nade. I'm sure he didn't even expect to get a double there. So
anytime you get more than 1 kill with an explosive, it's like a 2-for-1 special, you know? Like it's always a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like BOGO.
It's just unfortunate that they still lost that round even with the double nade kill. I mean, like, they were trading out well, but some stellar play from Neptunes to keep his team in the game, and then got us to support him. It was just, you know, the support show. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Oh yeah.
Soniqs are playing very, very well on Coastline this time around. I don't think they played it very, very well versus Senshi before.
They played it all right
In the match before, but I think that they're playing it much better this time. I think that they maybe just had, it was just the first map for them. You know, they were like warming up a little bit, potentially. Don't want to give too much credit because I like, obviously Tempo are having some kind of issue somewhere to cause, you know, it to be looking like it's so easy for the Soniqs. But obviously this game isn't over. I'm sure Tempo Storm will, you know, do their very best to get themselves back in this game. They've already taken it to a map 3, which is, I think, further than a lot of people would have expected out of them, given the map selection. So, you know, Tempo definitely do have some work to do to bring themselves back, but there's no reason why they can't do it.
Tempo did have the advantage, though, of being able to watch the Soniqs play on Villa, so they were able to get that intel prior to even going into the match, and because they had the bye. Unfortunately, the team that they were supposed to play had a medical emergency of some sort. I'm not too sure about the details of that situation, but they had an emergency. They had to forfeit, so Tempo Storm was just sitting there watching our stream, more than likely, just waiting to see who the victor would be. And so they had the advantage of just seeing everything that the Soniqs were doing before they even got into a lobby with them. So definitely going to be beneficial to them. And they're still looking pretty poorly here on Coastline, as this was one of the maps that, along with Villa, that was played by the Soniqs. I mean, the Soniqs are playing the same exact 2 maps that they played in the previous matchup against Tempo Storm, and I mean, they're taking it to them. Neptune's starting things off here on round number 5 with a quick pick onto Creators. I mean, hopefully he was able to get those air jabs down before getting picked off there by the castle. It's always unfortunate when you're not able to use all of your utility and you lose your life like that, but about less than half of the round left remaining, and some more drone work going to be done by Tempo Storm. As it's kind of curious as to where this push is coming from. Again, they're not choosing to deal with this vertical pressure. We saw this against Senshi. Senshi decided not to deal with it, and they paid the price, and it looks like just these vertical pressure. Super will find 2 kills from above. It's all left up to Filthy now. He is inside a blue bar, but he'll get shut down quickly by Goddess on the Alda. That's 5 rounds now in a row, 5-0. Susquehanna Soniqs.
Great showing by the Soniqs. We see how powerful that vertical pressure can be. Like you said, if they're not going to dictate anybody to try to, or excuse me, not dictate, dedicate anybody to trying to remove Neptunes from that hookah bar position behind Billiards, it's going to be rough. That hole, that opening through the drone hole that you can make to look towards the left side of the half wall inside of the office, it's such a powerful position. Like, is anybody actually going to challenge back at that? Up, yeah, like, not only do you have to shoot up through the floor to kill somebody at a hard right angle to you, but you have to shoot them through a drone hole through the floor. So it's, you know, a very strong angle to fight, or to try to take a fight against. And obviously Sonic showing Tempo, like, you know, that they need to do something a little different. They need to establish more control upstairs. Now we are seeing Goyo being brought back. Goyo wasn't very successful on Coastline the last time we saw him picked here, but maybe, you know, the Soniqs have figured out exactly what they need to do here. Hopefully nobody will be playing behind the shields, just get blown up like we saw in one of the rounds previously on Villa. But Soniqs looking in firm control of this map, and not exactly what I expected to see out of them coming into this. Tempo looked like they had great potential moving forward into this, but I'm not feeling it right now at the moment. I feel like they're kind of dead in the water, like they don't really have anything going for them. That's the exact kind of placement you want out of a Goyo
I
shield.
just realized I was muted.
And, you know, that was a fantastic angle that we saw Neptune's being held. I think the first time we ever saw that was in, was either NBK or someone else holding that angle on from EG while playing Vigil in that room. It's so frustrating to play against because it's such a difficult angle not only to fight back against, but to just see if anyone's even playing there, you know? So 2v2 now, Tempo can definitely make something happen. Not a lot of destruction that they can apply from above. They're trying to apply a little bit of pressure here and there, but they're going to have to utilize some drones to pinpoint where some defenders are. Obviously, Gomfi's position is now known, and he's actually going to lay down directly in the hole and just take the head-on engagement. Filthy now getting one, but traded immediately back. Super now in this 1v1 scenario versus Butters. Butters with about 30 seconds left has to try to plant the diffuser, and Super is going to retreat back, knowing that they have intel on Butters' location, is going to play safely and wait for the plant to go down. Butters playing now, wondering and communicating with his teammates what angles do they actually have, and this diffuser is being planted. Super has to know exactly where this is going down. There's no way he doesn't. Right behind the reinforcement, Butters has to sound Hor very, very closely as Super is peeking up onto him and loses the fight. Butters clutches up for his team, keeping them in it, finally winning one attacking round before this half switches. I loved that play with the Goyo shield. Like, that was a great position. That's exactly what you want a Goyo shield to be. In a position where the attackers are trying to get through, but if you destroy the shield, it stops their push and forces them to retreat back. In that case, it ended up resulting in a frag. So Neptune's played that spectacularly well.
Yeah, it played excellently on the top floor, and I mean, we've been harping on it all night that those the Goyo shields, they've been a big topic of talk. You know, those aren't the right words, but a big topic of interest here on the Razors Talks channel. And I know that you've been a big talker of it. I know that you know a lot more about the Goyo shields than most, but I mean, either way, we're not going to be seeing the Goyo come out from Tempo Storm, which is curious. It's definitely being an operator that the Soniqs have been kind of flexing to, and Neptune's with that 11 kills, man. He's been really fragging out. Neptune's go, and like you said, he's one of those underrated players on the Soniqs that people don't give a lot of attention to because of I mean, what do you think? What do you think why he doesn't get much talk? He's more of like, I don't even know. Wouldn't even say he's more of a support player.
I think that he doesn't get a lot of attention because of, like, he doesn't always go off, but he's always solid. He's a great team player, and I think that people gravitate towards talking more about players that are directly impactful every single game or have specific jobs to do. We see Neptunes play a multitude of operators in every single game that he plays. It's just the fact that, like, he's been in Pro League and on Soniqs for a long time. We've seen him play well, we've seen him play bad. It's just, like, because of what I consider to be, like, not a lack of consistency, but not a lot of consistency in terms of, like, the casual viewer. Like, the casual viewer doesn't notice Neptunes unless he's getting lots of frags. Whereas, like, if you watch the game a lot and just try to, you know, really immerse yourself in the Rainbow Six Siege esports side of things, you will notice Neptunes in what he does and how impactful it is for his team. So I feel like that's why he's not focused on regularly. But, you know, we are seeing an attack coming from the Aqua side right now. Obviously, Butters needs to be careful as the pressure is being directly applied to him. He does have those holes that we talked about before through the drone hole into the office to try to help out Filthy below in there. Obviously right now, more and more angles being opened up that Butters is going to have to worry about. He does have an ADS to help him, but how long is it going to take before Soniqs collapse onto his position? God is playing upside down. He's going to get taken out. That's the diffuser down as well. Very, very well played by Butters. One drone getting picked up by his pest as well, as he is taken down from, I'm not quite sure from where. I think Dream traded it out though.
Ooh.
So, oh my gosh, Dream almost getting taken back down, and Creators with another one onto Super. So this is looking very good for Tempo so far on this defense at least. Neptunes and Gomfi find themselves in a 2v4 scenario with full health, about a minute left. Oh, Gomfi, nice play with the sledgehammer. Going to be reconstructing the site from above while Neptunes most likely holds an angle, or at least tries to recover the diffuser. He's going to have to in the time that he has to do so. So, yep, as we see, Neptunes is running outside to grab the diffuser as Gonfi continues to open up more of the site. We're going to have to see exactly where they decide to push through, as more intel is most likely going to be gathered at some point before this round ends.
Yeah, only about 40 seconds left here, and a 2v3 is definitely a winnable situation. Neptunes has been fragging out, and you've got Gonfi, who is just the natural-born fragger on the side of the Soniqs, but you're going up against 3 players here and a lot of utility left, possibly some smoke canisters, and the first one will come down, it looks like, from Crazy. Neptune's going to swallow up a lot of that toxic smoke, as Neptune's is going to rotate right in and plant the bomb. One of the last toxic babes that will go through, and it's going to choke Neptune's out for the time being. Gonfi's actually going to find 2 kills. That's a triple for him on the round. It's going to be all left up to Filthy here. He's rotating in from behind. He's going to spot the diffuser. It's going to be all left up to Gonfi here. Filthy with the 1v2 clutch to keep his team in it and stave off match point for the time being. That's going to be 5-2 now. 2 rounds in a row for Tempo Storm, and this might be the comeback that we've been waiting for.
Wow. Honestly, like, I felt like Tempo Storm had it in the bag, and yesterday, they came out on top with a great flank from Filthy coming back from Aqua side. Most likely through the hatch. I don't think he came back through the, CCTV hallway or anything like that. But either way, like, that was almost a huge throw. I'm just going to say it. Like, that was almost a huge throw by Tempo. Obviously, with the utility available to the attackers, they did everything they could to make it work. The smoke canisters were being thrown appropriately by Crazy, but Gonfi should never have been able to get into a position to get a double kill like that. And, that was almost a complete throw by Tempo, but luckily they won the round, and now they're back in it, and we're actually going to see a penthouse defense from them. Something super unexpected. Like, I don't even think, honestly, the Soniqs are probably looking at this right now like, what is this?
I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a penthouse defense in competitive play. It has honestly been a while.
This is one of those decisions that Tempo's made where, if they win the round, it's like, wow, what a great heads-up play by them to go to penthouse, unexpected bomb site. And then if they lose this round, it's like, well, that's what happens when you go penthouse, So we're gonna see how it plays out. It's really all gonna depend on. I think this round's really gonna come down to where the yokai drones are placed and whether or not Super can actually pinpoint them and take them down, because there's no way that Soniqs don't take the map control that they need during this. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way they don't take control of VIP. There's no way they don't open the double window and don't open up the hatch. There's no way they don't take control of Guitar Hallway. Like, this is honestly gonna just come down to whether or not Soniqs play this round correctly when it comes to the attacking side. Yeah,
and we didn't see Tempo Storm attack this very well at all. So maybe this is just the the side that both these teams need is the attack or the defense on Coastline. So starting off this round now, at least Slebin hasn't died immediately. I don't think he's been the first pick yet in any of these rounds. So good on him to try to stave off that notion for the time being. It seems like we're going to be seeing kind of a split attack. It's going to be weird to see how this is held and attacked. This is just not a typical site or whatsoever inside of competitive play. Gonfi here is going to be running out the Jaeger on these cool vibe steps and could even go for a grenade here. Wisely, he's going to fall off of the position and go down towards the bottom, just barely avoiding that grenade from the sledge, as about half of the round is expended, and it doesn't even seem like the Soniqs have a good enough grasp on this hold to be able to make this execute happen.
Obviously, they have Super in position down below to stop any nitro cells, but there's only one nitro cell offensive, Butters, and I believe he's playing in sight. He's not even downstairs. Yeah. So this is proving to be slightly ineffective at the moment. However, Slebin almost catching Crazy off guard with an angle towards the soft wall. These mute jammers are proving to be what a timing of that. Dream coming up the staircases. Creators picks up one for himself as well. Dream with another onto Gonfi with a nice angle from the bottom of White Stairs, but is immediately traded out by Goddess. Now in a 2v4 scenario, things aren't looking good for the Soniqs. It's all up to Neptunes, the clutch master, coming up White Staircase. Goddess is most likely going to have to play the hallway angle to try to keep, to keep Tempo Storm at bay while Neptunes looks his way into the site. The smoke not really providing, or not really helping out Goddess in any way. She takes a little bit of damage through the soft wall as she almost picks up that kill onto the hallway. Neptunes now gets traded out by, or gets killed by Filthy, I believe, from inside of sight. And Goddess can't see anything through the smoke and does get taken down. So Tempo Storm with a convincing round on Penthouse. Like, that was confusing. I don't understand, like...
I liked this defense, though. I like Tempo Storm has DNA. I know DNA and Forceful. I know that they have one more coach / analyst, but they have been coming up with some crazy strats that I have thoroughly enjoyed tonight. Just seeing how they set up these different bomb sites, and I mean, working Penthouse into a defense, like that's just 200 IQ in itself, you know.
I'll be completely honest, like, obviously the defense setup worked well. It ended up working out for them. But at the same time, like, where was the attack coming from? Like, obviously you have to get someone downstairs in like as super to, you know, cut off rotations a little bit and to watch out for any C4s down below. But in all actuality, like, if you just attack that site in a standard fashion, I don't think there's really any defensive setup that could work in your favor. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of pressure was being applied to the southern side of the map, trying to come through luggage, and it was all kind of for nothing because, like, if you don't have someone on the double window to cut off rotations inside of the site, and you're not trying to, like, open up the hatch or apply VIP or, like, guitar hallway in any fashion, you're obviously, I feel like no matter how the defense is set up, you're guaranteed to lose if you don't apply pressure to those places. Maybe I'm wrong. If somebody wants to correct me, they're more than welcome to do it. I'm just speculating off of my own experience, which is extensive. But at the same time, I'm not always right. So maybe Tempo just knows something that we don't, and maybe the Soniqs also know something that we don't, which is why they attacked it the way that they did.
It's definitely going to be an intriguing next round as it's been a flurry here from Tempo Storm. No answer really from the Soniqs as they've won 3 straight after going down 5-0 on their attacking half, and already looking like we could see maybe even another round here. I mean, I know it's early, but I mean, with all this momentum on Tempo Storm right now, it's looking very unlikely like they're even going to lose a single round here. And just drones being thrown towards this Mozzie is just going to be like kind of a desperation for Intel. It looks like the Russian is actually just going to come right through. Super just gets a free kill onto Butters. It gets shredded up by Creators onto the hot hand on the Soniqs of Neptunes, which is a big pick. It's going to be the top fragger, like I was saying, but still, you lost your Mozzie. That's 1 nitro cell off the board. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but definitely going to be a hindrance to the rest of his defense as we reach about halfway in the round.
I think a lot of time, however, was wasted by Butters here. Obviously, the use of the pests after shooting a few of the drones was important. Super right now trying to pinpoint the location of some of these Echo drones, though. Where is Filthy playing? Is he off-site somewhere? Because if he's off-site, that could prove to be very effective in terms of just, like, you know, sort of playing far away and then still having intel on the site itself. Obviously, the Maestro cams are going to come into play as well. There's only Gompy with utility to destroy those Maestro cameras, so those are important. I think that's what they're getting rid of right now with 1 grenade, potentially, or maybe just trying to get a kill in the rotation hole. But at the moment, things are looking really good for Tempo. Smokes are getting expelled to force Goddess backwards. However, Gompy has... Oh, nice shot onto Creators, knowing that there's anticipating a flank or at least getting a call out on a drone from Neptunes. Goddess at very, very low health now. Could fall victim to a smoke canister being thrown her way as the plant is going down. Gompy looking for some free fires through the bar. Looking for that defender looking through, but he can't quite land it. Crazy throws another smoke, but it doesn't do anything. Filthy finally trades out Goddess, who does end up getting the diffuser planted. Slevin with 1 onto Filthy. Gompy with another one. Oh, it was so close onto Dream, and now it's all up to Crazy in this 1v3 scenario to try to clutch it up for his team. He sees the guy repelling haphazardly while he's unfortunately reloading right at that moment, but Filthy's stuck between a rock and a hard place now with nowhere to go. Gets traded out by Super at the end, and Soniqs put themselves, I believe, on match point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that'll be match point, finally getting there after 3 successful rounds from the Tempo Storm. It'll finally be match point for the Soniqs here in rounds of number 10. as they look to try to run away with this matchup again. A rematch from the USN final, the first round, as it was Tempo Storm who got 2-0'd in what took 30 rounds. Both matches going the full distance of 15 rounds, and I mean, a close matchup that doesn't look like it on the scoreboard because it was a 2-0, but it was definitely very close and could have gone pretty much either way. As again, we're having another very close matchup, and we're actually going to be seeing a Frost for the first time today. That 6 pick off of the Echo. That's going to be an interesting, an intriguing pick, I might say, that that the Soniqs might not be aware of or might not be ready for.
I'm a little worried at this Frost pick itself because, you know, this round, at this point, if you're going to pick Frost, this round is going to hinge solely upon whether or not the Frost mats are even effective. We see Dream right now trying to hide from drones, spot him out to give away that they do have a Frost, because if they can hide his position, it strengthens the Frost pick because they're not expecting the Frost mats to be in wherever he's going to place them. Obviously, we don't know what position he's going to put them in, but it's very important as to the, you know, end of the round. I'd imagine that these Frost mats are going to get placed. Yes, they are. They're going to be placed in positions to help out Butters, which I think is the correct play here in terms of just like, you know, you can't put them in sight. There's really no windows for them to hop through, but players have been hopping over the bar, hopping into Sunrise nonstop, and I think if one more Frost mat gets placed in a weird spot, it could potentially help them out. But Dream is going to have to be careful as he's rotating very, very late towards the front office area. Okay, that's not a bad place to put one, but that's the last Frost mat that gets placed, and they're all technically off site here. So Dream going to be doing his best to stay as hidden as possible for as long as possible. Butters playing this exact same position in the Sunrise is going to get read out by the Soniqs, so I imagine that the typical pressure we've seen being applied by them is going to be put into play here. Gompi looking like he wants to push in through Blue Bar, trying to open up that angle towards the bottom of Cool Vibe Staircase. We saw this angle being used to great effect before. When Ash was available, he's just going to shoot the wall open in order to try and you know, open up that same thing to trap Butters in this location. This is very smart. Butters gonna have to play his life and be very careful not to move into that line of sight. Things are looking good right now for Tempo, though they are wasting a lot of time.
Wasting a lot of time indeed, and that's pretty much the whole point of this roam game, is to try to delay as long as possible, wasting about half of the round now. And we could even see Neptunes try to hop in through this this side window inside of the Sunrise. Super finally takes down Creators. That's that one roamer. I'm not sure where exactly he was, but Gomfi with a nice shot there through the Blue Bar wall is going to be immediately traded out by 2 members of Tempo Storm, one inside of Office. That's crazy. Who's actually going to get downed off by Gomfi. Points again are not on in competitive play, so he will not know that the down came onto the Smoke player, but is going to be able to realize it here eventually with possibly some drones, or maybe even just hearing the player crawling around on the ground, possibly just assume that he is downed. Again, Filthy on this Maestro here. Not sure exactly where he wants to play. As it actually looks like Dream has been downed as well, so it's a 1v3 here for Filthy to try to stave off. No, it looks like he's on 1 HP, the Frost is, and it's actually going to be the pickup onto Crazy. So they could actually get these shots down onto default if they do play their cards right. A quick trade coming out between 2 members from each team, as it's now going to be a 2v2. Dream he's literally on like 1 HP, so he's really not going to be as helpful here. The wide peek up from Filthy is going to make things a 1v2 here for Neptunes. The star player from the Susquehanna Soniqs is going to be able to clutch us out in a 1v2 situation with 20 seconds left. The diffuser in no man's land, essentially. So all they really need to do is play time, and they're going to be able to win this round and stave off elimination for the time being. And yes, it's going to be a nice shot there from Filthy. I believe a 3K or maybe just a 2K for him to be able to clutch that round out. And we're going to be going to another round here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over yet.
My goodness.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
What a, like that, I mean, great heads up play by Filthy. Obviously, you know, Butter, like, this is what I was talking about before. They're using that angle from Blue Bar all the way to the bottom of Cool Vibe Stairs to trap Butters in that room, and Gomfi killed Butters. Like, that's the thing that, like, you know, you can't overlook there. Gomfi is doing his job. He's getting challenged from multiple angles onto that location because Butters wants to be able to rotate out, and if he is able to rotate out, it staves off a lot of the attack. The Frost pick there, not really working out, even though, like, yes, they won the round. It wasn't due to the Frost pick itself. So there's technically nothing wrong with it. But that was very close. Without, Filthy clutching up some of those rounds, or some of those kills, they definitely would have lost. Yeah, this is very, very close. I want to see Tempo Storm bring it back and take it to overtime. That would just make it that much more entertaining. But I can't help but feel like they just got a little bit lucky that round, and that's the only reason they're still in.
I don't know, man. Those frost bats were the intimidation factor that was needed for Tempo Storm. You know, they didn't know that they existed, but they were still an intimidation factor. And
they didn't know they were there, but they still played a role, right? You know?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you know, like it's just that underlying thing, like something like oh no. Oh, they're getting aggressive now, creators. Good, Slevin. There he is again. Good. He's the first pick. I don't know, but find him, Oreo. Find him for us. Where is he? I don't know. It doesn't even matter. But it's Slevin. You know, he has been like the first pick in so many rounds that it's actually like I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's just crazy.
Filthy with one on Gomfi as well. So
oh wow, I didn't even see that.
This defense should be firmly in the hands of Tempo Storm now. I'd love it. I'd love to see if Filthy wants to hide inside of one of his prismas now at the moment, but I doubt it would happen. Honestly, like I really doubt it. Lots of defensive presence though, horizontally, not so much up top. Neptune's looking for just to try to maybe get a lucky wallbang somewhere around here, but can't quite land anything yet. There is still 2 minutes left. They can utilize a lot of the time at their disposal to try to pinpoint some defender locations and maybe pick them off if they don't have any cover. But things not looking good for Soniqs at the moment, as Super is just holding the angle in kitchen. Any defender's trying to rotate to his location. Doesn't seem like he's gonna yield any results. I doubt the Tempo players will even try to. We'll even move from their locations. I bet you they're just gonna sit and hold angles for the rest of this round for the next minute and a half.
I mean, that's just the way to play this, you know. You just gotta try to waste as much time as you can. And as we say that, there will be actually a peek from Dream as he'll make it a 5v2. Quickly made a 4v2 though by Goddess. She's been playing very well tonight. It had 10 kills. It has had double-digit kills in both maps so far. Not really too sure where she stands currently, but as she makes her way quietly into sight, there's actually nobody inside of Billiards behind the bar. She does have the diffuser, and Super getting a frag on the Crazy. Actually, no, this isn't the site. It's downstairs. I thought it was upstairs for a second here. I was a little confused. A double peek coming out as Super actually finds another one. It'll be finally fragged out, though, onto Goddess as they now have the diffuser firmly in control inside of Hookah. That's going to have to be a 4K for Super in order to win this round with only 40 seconds left. He's going to have to push up these cool vibe stairs with 2 guns likely trained on him. Who is going to be able to find the frag here? Just wasting more time as he's getting spotted out by the default camera. Gonna look up through the hatch. No, what are you doing, Dream? He gives away a kill freely to Super. It's now 1v1 creators and Super. Can we see the IGL clutch out this round? It looks like he doesn't know where the Jaeger is, but he gets the kill anyway!
No way.
And it's the Soniqs that win out the map and the series. GG's in chat. How does he do it? What a match indeed. It looked like it was going to be in favor of Tempo Storm, but the Super Soniqs will win out that match. And they're going to be going on to our next round of these closed qualifiers to face off against Space Station Gaming in a rematch of, again, the U.S. Nationals.
My goodness. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that Tempo lost that round. Obviously, Soniqs played it very well towards the end there. But that's heartbreaking to see. I feel so bad for Tempo because I know how hard they've been playing and practicing. But they're not out of it yet. They're in the elimination bracket now.